All right, y'all. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Zachary Smith. If you guys are new, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Leave me a like, hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss a single piece of content that I'm putting out here as we gear towards the NFL draft. And leave me a comment down below. Let me know how you feel about what was covered in this video, anything in a past video, or anything that you would like to see in a future video. Very special one for you guys today. I've been hyping this one up. I've been talking about it quite a bit. But Jake Schyvinck, Derrick Bell, two of my guys here in the draft community, both joining me today for a full 3-round NFL mock draft. What's going on, guys?
I'll let Jake take the floor first, man. He's the number one guest.
It's exciting to be here. This is gonna be a lot of fun. You know, traversing 3 rounds right before free agency too, before it gets insane. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
You know what, I was thinking about this before Derrick goes on spiel here about how much he loves the NFL draft. This might come back to bite us pretty much immediately when this video is posted, and then free agency starts, and it just takes away teams' needs with holes that they're filling through free agency. So good time to be doing a mock draft. Also, maybe the absolute worst time to be doing a mock draft. But anyways, Derrick, what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong about the free agency thing, but I mean, hey, that'll give another reason for you to do another mock draft video. You know? If you think,
there you go. Just keep pumping out new ones.
Yeah, you might be able to double dip here. You get one pre-free agency kind of, and then you get one post. I mean, the people will be all up in the comments telling you, "Hey, we got to run this back." So hopefully that'll be the case.
Like the post Senior Bowl, and then you got to get one post Combine. I just posted a post Combine one, and yeah, people were really getting on me about my Steelers 4-round that I put out just today, the time I'm recording this, because listen, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I have to believe the person that I am getting this information from because of the way that it burned me last year. If I would have listened to this person last year and told everybody before the draft, hey, the only quarterback that we would take in round 1 is Kenny Pickett, and we're going to draft 2 receivers, I would have been, oh my goodness. You know the way people would have been talking about me post-draft? But I didn't listen to him. Yeah. I thought it was all smokescreen from Malik.
Man, it makes me so mad though. Speaking of mock drafts, I posted my second one for Complex, and I had the Panthers. Tell me how unlucky this is. I have the Panthers trading up, but I have them trading up to 3 instead of to 1. Like how unlucky.
Who was it for? Richardson?
No, I had them trading up for Stroud. I had Indy trading up to number 1 for Richardson, which it looks like I may get the players right with those fits. I just probably will get them wrong in the wrong order, obviously now. But yeah, super unlucky. Like they couldn't wait until my mock was like more than 24 hours old.
A month ago, I did. I'm working on something on my channel too, where I'm doing a 4-round mock for every team in the NFL, and I'm going based off where they make their first pick in the draft. So it's like the 4th one I did was the Colts. I gave them Richardson at 4. I was like, man, I just love the fit with Shane Steichen. I think that could be very possible. And this was a month ago. People are commenting like, no way he's going that high, not happening. But bust, not pro ready. They need somebody to play right away. Like all this stuff, and I'm just like, all right, well, I mean, now the talk is you're seeing what it is. I mean, even before Carolina goes up to 1, and now it looks like it's going to be Stroud. Like there was some smoke there for Richardson. Like all of a sudden the betting odds were changing, and Richardson was starting to make a leap where you could get pretty decent value on him at number 1. People were talking about it, so. Who knows? We're going to dive into this. It'll be interesting to see where you guys think like the draft actually starts now. Like, I guess before we even like really get into this, I'll press start draft because it's not like it can make a pick for us. Are we all in agreement that this is for Stroud at 1 that Carolina made this move up for?
Okay. I don't know if they've decided. I don't know if they've decided. I think it's Stroud or Richardson. I think they're either moving up because they feel like Stroud has the safest floor in this class. They're worried a little bit about Young taking hits over a rookie contract that might last 5 years. They're like, all right, we know what Stroud is. We know he's a great distributor, plus placement on all his throws at every level. Like the safe guy who I think if you build around him, we're in great shape, especially with Frank Reich. I think that's a huge part of it. But also, if you're giving up that much, are you swinging for everything at 1? I think it's one of the two. I don't think they moved up for Levis as much as like Levis gets the hate. I think he's fine. Don't think he's great. And I don't think it's for the historical outlier either. So I don't know if they've decided, truthfully.
Okay.
I like Jake's line of thinking there. I mean, It does make sense. I mean, it's a lot of capital, man. It really is. But if you're going to do it, it's a risk anyway. So, yeah, you better get it right. But I'll just say this. Richardson has the type of talent to make a move like that potentially pay off, right? And like Stroud does, I think, as well, but maybe just I definitely think Richardson has a higher ceiling just because of his athletic tools. And I just think that he's more comfortable using some of the gifts that God gave him. Stroud's a better athlete than I think he puts on tape consistently, but he's just not a natural playmaker. Like, he doesn't really want to use his legs. He's a pure pocket passer, and that's completely fine. And like Jake said, you put him in a system with Frank Wright, all those triangle reads, those mesh routes, like all that stuff. Like, Stroud can do that from day one. They're gonna have to get him some pass catchers, which that's gonna be a challenge now. But
they got DJ. Oh wait, never mind.
Yeah, but like the offense, the big thing for me and with Stroud, every young quarterback needs a good offensive line, but I think Stroud, it really depends on more so than like a guy like Bryce, even though people would say like, oh, like historical outlier, obviously because of the size. But like Stroud, man, like that's the one thing that really, really concerns me about his transition to the pros is like, he's just not very good under pressure. He's just not. Like, I don't think he handles it well. His eyes drop, footwork. He's a really clean mechanical prospect, but he just does not handle pressure well. And it's concerning to me. But I think Carolina's offensive line is solid. Like, they've really invested in that group. First round left tackle last year, like they're going to be solid up front, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's when he sees pressure. Like, I think if he notices pressure, Stroud, like he knows where his hots are, we're fine. Yeah. We're cooking. There's no problem. But it's when like pressure he doesn't see and pressure that's either late or disguised from a different direction on the field. Like, that's where I think he gets into real trouble. And it's like, oh, that's where the throws come where you're like, that's a turnover worthy play. That's a turnover worthy play. Like, those will stack up. But like you said, Derek, I mean, the offensive line looks pretty good. Like they feel so that's maybe why they felt a little more comfortable trading more. It's like, all right, we can build the pass catcher room, right? But we got to make sure this offensive line stays intact.
Yeah,
I'd agree.
If this isn't Stroud though, and this could change obviously within the next month and a half before the NFL draft. As of right now, they got Vegas fold if it's not for CJ Stroud, because going from plus 335 to minus 125 to be the favorite now at pick number 1, that is a large change. I don't actually know what Richardson is at right now to be number 1, but clearly they believe this is for CJ Stroud.
Yeah,
in Vegas.
That's definitely where I'll lean. I think it makes fit from a schematic standpoint. But I do think Richardson, I'd probably put him at 2.
In terms of likelihood.
Yeah.
I would agree. But I think it's Stroud.
Yeah.
And if we're trying to be predictive with this, that's where I think we should be going. Houston Texans on the clock at 2. Are they still getting the guy that would be their QB1 anyway? That's the question.
Yeah, I think so. I think Bobby Slowick, I think they're going to be able to do a lot of things that has worked for Tua in Miami, move the pocket, get him rolling out, like let him be able to see the field even better than I think he already sees it. So I don't think Houston's going to be scared of this. They got a long time to figure things out. And I think Houston as well is probably like, yeah, we don't need to swing. We've got a ton of capital right over the next 2 years. Let's flesh that all out. Let's get the guy that plays the position really well and probably better than anybody in the class right now in Young.
Yeah. Yeah. And kind of just on the opposite end of the spectrum, like there's obvious things that are working against Young. He doesn't have the prototypical size, that's a historical outlier, and you got to be comfortable betting on that. But when you look at a team like Houston, who, they've got deficiencies everywhere. I mean, this roster has a long way to go. They're very early on the runway in terms of for their rebuild. But I think if you just look at something with Bryce that I think makes him a good fit in Houston is like the way that he can handle pressure. He's a magician in the pocket. He can navigate, through pass rushers. He's just so calm and poised, man. Never gets like sped up. When the game gets really tight, he's always on point. You look at some of these numbers from like him under pressure. Pro Football Focus, I think I tweeted it out yesterday. 9.3 yards per attempt when he's under pressure. Stroud's is 5.5. I mean, his ADOT under pressure, I think, was like 14 something. Like, he is a big game hunter when pressure's in his face. And I think that with Houston, you know, they got a lot of stuff to figure out. But I think kind of like what Jake said, like getting that like point guard that really understands how to play the position can do some of the things that Tua does, like with that quick release. You know, he's going to be really RPO friendly with his way that he can, you know, manipulate arm slots and stuff like that. So Young, to me, this is still who I think the Texans will and should honestly go with. So that's my pick.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on board. Is anybody else even in consideration here for you, though? I mean, that's who we're going to draft is Bryce Young. But do you think anybody else will even be on their radar if Bryce Young is there too?
Will Anderson?
And just not
D'Amico.
Not take a quarterback this year, or see if one falls to 12.
Taking one. I think it's Young or no quarterback, legitimately.
Okay.
As long as Young's not the first pick, of course. There's rumblings about Jimmy G. I don't know if that's true or not. We're sitting here, you know, recording this a couple of days before free agency starts.
Yeah.
We shall see. But yeah, I think it's Younger. It's like D'Amico goes, yeah, I need one of these top defenders.
Yeah. I agree. I think it's Bryce, though. I do. I think that Houston needs to, like, you know, they kind of did what they needed to do last year. They, you know, bad quarterback class. They punted on a quarterback. You know, I get why they did what they did last year, but I think it's time this year to, you know, get your face to the franchise. So,
the Arizona Cardinals at 3, their pick of the blue chip non-quarterbacks if they want one. Also, some smoke about them potentially wanting to move down here, or somebody wanted to move up for an Anthony Richardson. How do we think Arizona approaches this at number 3?
They are another team. I think they need like almost everything. Like they have pass catchers figured out clearly. Like they're like the anti-Carolina Panthers basically. Like, we've got our quarterback, we've got pass catchers. Like if they combine teams, we got a great team here. But like they are struggling in the trenches. They've got a couple guys on the back end, but in the secondary.
What is it like? They have like 11 free agents or something along the offensive line, something stupid like that.
They're in a serious situation along the offensive line,
and they really shouldn't want any of those guys back. But
no, not really. Yeah, but I mean, you can't really force the issue here and be like, yeah, we got to take one of the tackles. Like this is new GM. We gotta right the ship. We gotta right the ship, and the way to do that is to probably lean. I think Anderson, just because when you stay well, there's the Tyree Wilson thing as well. That's been rolling around, but like I don't know how you could even think that would be the case. Like I think Carter's probably just barely a better prospect, but if like you're leaning like, okay, where do we? Because if you look at like defensive interior, the IDL players like. Early on in their career, that it's a little bit of time. Like usually, like even took Quinnen Williams, who a lot of people are like phenomenal player. It took him some time.
Yep.
Right. And it might not take Carter some time, but I think if they want to really start this thing going in the right direction, I think they probably lean premium position and go edge.
Yeah. I full disclosure, I'm gonna 100% say that the Cardinals need to trade down. I think when you look at, you mentioned new GM, got a new head coach. So like they're very early on their runway in this rebuild. It is a rebuild. Even if Kyler's healthy, this team's not very good. I don't think they're very talented. It's a very talented roster. I would be 100% willing to move down. Ideally, not move down too far to where I couldn't get Anderson or Carter, but I would 100% entertain a trade down scenario. If they are not trading down, just spoiler alert, here comes like the negative side of Derrick, but I think if you are looking at Will Anderson versus Tyree Wilson and you think that Wilson's even in the same hemisphere as a prospect, I think you're insane. I don't get it at all. I've watched like 4 or 5 games of Wilson. I do not see it. I don't see him as a first round player. I don't see him anywhere in the same stratosphere as Will Anderson. I just don't get it.
I love it. Yeah, I think that there should probably be more of a debate between like Tyree Wilson and like a Miles Murphy. Not
even sure that's one either.
No, I know, but I'm trying.
I agree. I know what you're saying though.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Like I said, I agree with Jake. I would if we're staying here, I'd be willing to bet on Will Anderson. I mean, here's the thing with Will Anderson. Like we're talking about a dude. Like people are saying, like, oh, his numbers were a little bit down like last year. Like, dude, do y'all realize what he did in 2021? I mean, the dude put up 82 pressures and like 15 sacks. Like, how is he going to replicate that? And like the way that Alabama used him, it's not the same. Like edge defenders, you have to look at the way that they're deployed. Like Anderson doesn't get, like he gets a ton of snaps, but like he's not getting all those in a wide nine alignment where he's just asked to go get the quarterback. Like they're asking him to crash down, take the quarterbacks out of like zone read plays. They use him in a lot of different ways. Like he plays some freaking 3-tech at like 245 pounds. Don't have any idea how he even does that. But Carter to me is the most talented defensive player. Anderson's not very far behind him, but I just think like with Arizona, they can't afford to miss on another first round prospect. So that's why I would probably lean towards them going with Anderson. And just even if it's a little more safe and maybe not as high ceiling, I think Anderson's a great prospect. One of the few blue chip guys in the class. That's who I would take. So
yeah, I'm with you too. Also, I probably should have mentioned that we will not be doing any trades. So sorry, Derek.
No,
they don't have the option to move here.
Okay. Well,
if I'm Indy, like this would be a no doubter, like flip one spot, make sure Tennessee, Vegas,
doesn't get in front of me.
Phantom Seattle or Atlanta move
what do you
up
think
away from like
to move from 4 to 3. What do you think that would take for them to do that?
2 and a 3, maybe.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be a lot, but then again,
it depends how many people want to move to 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. They get a super juicy offer to go back to like 7 and swap with Vegas, and they feel comfortable like, hey, we still may be able to get Carter or Anderson. We don't know about Carter's like situation, how that's going to play out. I'm still very, very skeptical that he's exiting the top 10. He shouldn't get out of the top 5, but we'll see closer to the draft how the well-connected folks kind of connect the dots there, I guess.
The Indianapolis Colts sitting at number 4. Probably the big losers of Carolina going up to number 1, I would say. Unless, very possible, like we were all talking about before we started rolling with this, and Anthony Richardson, he would probably be the way that I'm leaning here, but I'm interested as to what you guys think.
I actually think that like Ballard likes both of these guys.
Okay.
That are still available. I think I'm not sure if Ballard would be the guy that would be like, yeah, we're moving to 1 for Young. I don't even know if Ballard's the guy who's like, yeah, we'll take Young at 4, even though he probably should do that, right? Like he should if Young fell to 4. They've always liked the big dudes.
Yep.
No matter what position. Now they haven't drafted a quarterback, so we don't know necessarily, but like that's just the way he's often leaned. So I think both of these guys would be in play. I think, if you're looking at it'd be if the first 2 picks were like Richardson, Stroud or something like that, then maybe it's Levis, but like it came down to like the Colts' interest with hiring Shane Steichen. Now, it didn't necessarily mean it was Richardson, right? Just because he came from Philly where Hurts was doing really well. And like they were, diversifying the run game, letting him run QB power. Like they were giving him opportunities to play 11 on 11. But like they could have easily gone, if they liked Young, gone the RPO route with a lot of that stuff that he does well too. Like he did it, with the Chargers and whatnot. So, but like this feels like it's time to just, if Ballard's going to swing. Don't hesitate. Don't swing. Just take it all the way. Like just go Richardson. He's 3 years younger. Bet on that. Bet on a little bit more upside than I think that Levis has. Obviously as a rusher, but I think as well as like just a guy who I think kind of gets it within the pocket. Like I not everything's perfect, right? He's got to develop the changeup a little bit as a passer. I think there's still times where he's taking chances a little bit, but like in terms of like pocket maneuverability, making slight adjustments, moving left or right to just buy himself, a second and a half, or it's maneuvering around with like tons of dudes in his face. Like he still keeps his eyes up and he's finding guys down the field. Like we know how good the deep ball is. And again, they can install a nasty rushing game with Richardson and Taylor. Like that is insane. So I just think this is the way. That's the way they go. They go Richardson.
Yeah, I'm fully on board with Anthony Richardson here as well. I mean, just looking at some of the stuff that I remember seeing on film from the Eagles last year before the Steelers played them, there's obviously the element of the quarterback run game, but, just how vertical that passing game is, that perfectly fits with like what Richardson does well right now. He can throw the deep ball. Like you mentioned, there's no changeup right now. It's fastball or nothing. He's basically like the Aroldis Chapman of this draft class, where it's just all 100-mile-an-hour heaters. It doesn't matter if someone's 5 feet away from him or 50. It's the same pace. But you mentioned just some of the stuff he does well in the pocket. That's kind of, I feel like folks are kind of sort of starting to catch up on. But one thing that I really like about Richardson too is, just how he deals with pressure. The passing numbers, they're not great, but they're really not great all over the board, if we're being honest. But he was under pressure, I think 142 dropbacks last season, but he only took 13 sacks. So you talk about like how much of that escapability, that doesn't necessarily always mean that he's making good plays when he's pressured, but he's not killing you either by taking sacks. Like, he's actually throwing the ball away. That kind of does lead to like some of that, a little bit of that low completion percentage. I just think, with what worked in Philly last year, I think he can replicate, like Steichen can replicate some of that with Richardson if he hits his ceiling. And who knows? The only thing that gives me pause here, and this is why I can't for the life of me think why the Colts are not in on Lamar Jackson. Ballard has to be on his last leg, right? Like, this is it for him, right? Like, if he does not get this right this year, like, not saying they have to go to the playoffs or win the Super Bowl, but like, if there's not serious promise, he's getting canned. Is he going to want to do that for someone like Richardson? That's why I don't get why they wouldn't want Lamar. Like, you all have been after veteran quarterback after veteran quarterback after veteran quarterback. Richardson, I guess, theoretically has the talent to turn into something close to Lamar, but Lamar is Lamar. I don't get why they're not trading for him. That's the one question mark that I have with this pick. I don't think they should make it. I think, as much as I like the fit for Richardson, I think they should just trade this for Lamar. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but
yeah, I mean, I'm 100% on board. I think that they should be doing everything in their power to get Lamar Jackson for sure. I think there's multiple teams that should be doing that, but
yeah, it's the only thing that I can see Ballard keeping his job next year.
Yeah, well, that's true too. Like you look at some of the other landing spots, but the seat isn't as hot as it probably is in
This
Indy.
is warm, like very, very warm. So I don't know. I would take Richardson though, for the sake of the mock. I think he's the best fit for Indy. So
yeah. All right, so there we go. And now so this is status quo for me in terms of the last mock draft that I've done and how I've kind of been thinking it goes. Now I think it could potentially start to get more interesting, and we might actually have some more discussion. 5, Seattle. Does the Jalen Carter slide stop here? I mean, I've seen some people say this, but at the same time, people have been talking about the culture that they are trying to build there. If there is any merit to this Jalen Carter stuff, they don't want another like Malik McDowell situation or anything like that happening in Seattle. So I've seen him mocked here. And if it's not, like, Tyree Wilson could be in play, Miles Murphy could be in play. What else? What do we think?
Man, I get it. Like, I understand, like, Seattle's like, all right, we need to build culture. That's fine. I think we just got to make sure we're doing the homework on Carter. Like, I get it. Like, the situation is insanely serious, and it's like not something that, you could take away lightly, even if, like, again, like, even if he was just speeding, like, it's still, and racing, like, that's still a serious problem. Like, the maturity seems to be a Georgia theme. I don't know why that is the case. So yeah, as a Packers fan, I've got full scope of that with both rookies last year. Like, I don't know what it is. I think sneakily they could be in on quarterback. I don't think the Geno deal necessarily eliminates them from this. If they have their guy here at 5, I don't know. I think
actually Mid Kuiper made a video talking about the potential of Anthony Richardson sitting behind Geno. Yeah,
Mid Kuiper is him.
Yeah,
we know this. They could go their old route, though. Old Senior Bowl. Well, he should have been in the Senior Bowl. But, like, that type of player, like Tyree Wilson, like, that's definitely been an MO of theirs. Like, they figured it out last year. Last year, it was like, it's everyone else's turn to be crazy. We won't be.
That's because I broke into their draft room and told them to take Charles Cross instead of a running back.
Well, they knew that
and then they took Ken Walker anyway. Later on.
Well, then, they did do that. They just took the good players, and I'm wondering if, like, we get back to a sort of status quo with them. They're like, big, long, explosive in the top 5. I don't know. This is a strange spot. Like it should be Carter, but like it's Seattle.
Yeah, I have no idea where Seattle's going to go. I mean, you guys made good points as far as where they could or should go. I think they should consider Richardson if he's there, but I don't anticipate that he will be. I probably wouldn't do it for Levis. I think the Geno contract in and of itself, just from what I saw of Geno last year, like Geno was a legitimate like top 10 quarterback last year, and he's one of the best pure pocket passers I think that we have in football right now when he's on. Like if last year's any indication, like there's probably not more than like 6 or 7 guys that actually play from the pocket that's as good of a passer as Geno is. I think that they do need help up front on defense. They really killed it with, getting Wilden last year late. They drafted Kobe Bryant. They've got some guys on defense, like Jordan Brooks has turned into a good player. They got they got good safeties. I don't know if they have that. They need a guy up front that can like dictate like slides. And, I think Carter could be that guy. It seems like everyone else thinks that Tyree Wilson could potentially be that type of player. Like I said, I've already given my thoughts kind of on him as a player. I don't think that his traits are extremely translatable, like how he wins. I think I would be more interested in him as with a defense that would move him more around the front rather than just sticking him outside at edge. Like I would like to see him, almost kind of like Arden Key-ish, getting to rush over the guard, like getting to rush over the center. I think that he has probably more value, in my opinion, there than he does just as an edge rusher. But
let me throw a wild card name because this is probably a little bit high. I haven't seen him go this high yet. What about a guy that can rush from multiple alignments? Lucas Van Ness.
So this is my pick. I asked Jake about this specifically for the Packers. And
wait, really?
Yeah.
Like on Twitter?
No, and I DM'd him this the other day. This is going to be, I promise I'll be positive for the rest of the show. This is another dude that I just don't get it, man. I don't.
All right.
I don't understand. He's a player that does not win the outside shoulder as an edge rusher. Always scares the heck out of me.
For sure.
However, if you're going to be a player that doesn't win the outside shoulder a lot, you can win if you're like a really refined technician. You're great with your hands. You have a couple different, actual moves. Van Ness's pass rush plan is I'm going to run as hard and as fast as I can through this offensive tackle's chest so many times over the course of the game until they just get tired of blocking me. I just don't think that's translatable in the league. I just don't. I just don't. He's another guy I don't get it with, but
I mean, literally that just occurred to me right now because again, trying to like think about Seattle.
He's gonna go high.
That would be a little bit
crazy.
He
tested crazy. Do you guys like? See, to me, I think you were trying to mention this too. I think Van Ness working inside, like as an interior pass rusher, like that's why I was kind of curious on where he would weigh in at because it looked like he dropped a little bit of weight for the combine. I was wanting him more to like put on an additional 5-10 pounds. Let's see what he looks like with his hand in the dirt. Because then, like, if you're an interior pass rusher and you have that bull rush that, because he can generate a ton of power in his hands. Yeah. If you're on the interior, you can win like that. Like, we see guys win like that. We don't see edge rushers just brute force their way into 10 sacks every season. I don't know. He's an interesting case study.
He's not going to be the pick here, by the way. He's not going to be the pick here, by the way. I'm just curious as to what you guys thought about that possibility because I was
Seattle's always hard to predict. Yeah, they're always hard to predict.
All right, but my vote would probably be cast for Tyree Wilson here.
Okay, I'm good with that. I'm good with that for sure.
If we're going on like will do over should do, like that feels predictive. Very much in the realm of possibility that they bypass Carter.
Okay. Bypassing Carter, is that something the Detroit Lions will do at 6, or is this where the slide stops? I'll say right now before you guys start talking, this is where the slide would stop for me.
I mean, it should stop here. Will it? Man. I don't know. Detroit feels like another team that's like legitimately doing this as well. Like we're
culture
bringing
stuff.
in, yeah, I think they really are doing that. I think Brad Holmes cares about that for sure. I don't think it's necessarily just on the one pick last year where like, oh, they took Hutch over Thibodeau, where it's like someone in, I think Ben Solak, who's like does the Ringer NFL draft stuff, and like he is plugged in with the Lions a little bit. It was like they liked both. It was just they preferred Hodgson more. So I don't know if it's necessarily like just the stuff with Thibodeau was a little bit more like superficial and kind of nonsense.
Yeah, what he was in like NFTs or something.
Yeah, that was more nonsense. Like Carter's a little bit different than that.
Yes. Yep.
So like, would they if everything like comes out and like we're, you know, we NFL teams believe like the maturity it can get there and get better, then like we know the slide's going to stop a lot sooner. I'm just worried Detroit is very much in the camp of like, yeah, I don't think we should touch this, and we just go with like Christian Gonzalez, who's like, you know, top tier athlete at corner, and like prototypically is really something they absolutely need over Carter here, because again, there's just, I hate that we're feeding into all the probably smoke that the NFL teams are throwing that crap around, but like that's where we're sitting.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I think Carter's the best or the most talented player in the class, regardless of position. And I think he's, like you mentioned earlier, like Quinnen Williams, like I think that's a good comp for him in terms of what he could potentially become. Like, I think anything short of like Aaron Donald, maybe Chris Jones, what we saw last year, I think Carter could get to that potential. Like he could be like a Fletcher Cox, a Quinnen Williams. Like he could be that type of player. And the only reason that I think that he won't be is if it gets in his own way. Like he's just so unique from a body build perspective, and so talented and so strong and so explosive. It's just a matter of like, we don't have the answers. And unfortunately, that's the hardest part, I think, of doing like draft analysis. Like when you're not in the rooms, like you're only going off what you see on film, and you're guessing on the other stuff. And like, that's what makes this really difficult. But if we're not going to go Carter here, I think Gonzalez is my pick. He's my CB1.
Yeah, same.
I love Gonzalez. Incredibly fluid. I mean, this kid is as fluid as like any corner that I think I've ever scouted. I mean, the hips are just unbelievable. And I mean, I watched literally every snap he took last year because I'm a maniac, but I don't think that I saw a receiver stack him like all season long. Like there are times where he's actually playing too far upfield on the receiver's shoulder because he looks like he's playing the position on easy mode. Like he's so ridiculously athletic and he's big. And I know people have concerns about like, he doesn't always play, 6'2". He doesn't always play super physical. It's just because he's so talented. He's so much more talented than everyone else. That he didn't have to. He could get away with being a finesse guy. But I think there's some upside there too, like some untapped physicality that he'll flash. He just doesn't do it consistently. But, them missing on Okudah should absolutely not. I wouldn't even say missing. Like Okudah's been hurt too. But I don't think the Okudah scenario should warrant them getting scared off of picking Gonzalez this high. I would absolutely be all in favor for that pick. So
yeah, is he everybody's like third best defender in the draft?
He would be mine,
because he is for me, like third best defender overall, like after Carter and Anderson. Like I don't know if there's another guy that I would put over him. Like, and I think the other thing is like, oh, he doesn't play physical. He's like, but he tackles fine. Like, there's nothing like where I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's just that he's so big, he's so athletic that everyone thinks that he should be like Jalen Ramsey. And like Ramsey's a freak, but he just doesn't have that. He might not have that same mindset. Like Ramsey's just like, I'm not saying Gonzalez isn't competitive. Like he definitely is. Like Ramsey's like uber competitive, a psychopath, like just is wired a little bit different. Even if Gonzalez doesn't ever turn into that physical type of cornerback, the way that he wins with that fluidity, his footwork, his twitch, his speed is already good enough to probably be a CB1 at the next level, which is insanely valuable. You take those guys, like you have no issue taking those guys in the top 10. That position's extremely valuable. Even if he doesn't add that physicality, he's still talented enough to warrant this selection, in my opinion.
Peak Asamoah vibes.
Yeah.
Peak Asamoah. Yeah. Peak
I had
Asamoah
his Raiders
vibes.
jersey.
I think like Asamoah was never like a dog, like in your face, like talk that much crap, like just covering this guy. He's not going to be open. Throw elsewhere.
Yeah.
Just like as nonchalant as it possibly be.
Is that where both of you would go with this pick? Is Gonzalez?
I think so.
I would.
Okay. This is a democracy. So 2 out of 3, Christian Gonzalez. The question that I'm just going to have, I mean, as we continue to go, we'll get to it, but like eventually we're going to have to take Jalen Carter. It's just going to be about like who's going to do it. So
the spot
I'm eyeing one team. I'm eyeing one team shortly coming up.
Okay. Well, the Raiders at 7. I don't think they are that team. I don't even know where to begin with them. Obviously, the Derek Carr era is over for them. Very much could be looking for their QB of the future. At one point, we thought maybe that would be Aaron Rodgers and linking back up with Devontae Adams. That's not happening. I mean, that's again very lack of talent. But you got to start somewhere. Here we are at pick number 7 for the Raiders. What do we do?
I'll keep it short and sweet. So we'll get rolling here, but like it's probably Will Levis or Devin Witherspoon. I think those are the 2 options. Either like you're going young at QB, which I don't know. Like, I don't know if they want to do that, right? Like they have all the weapons. They're like, why like kind of like pseudo reset? Like, aren't you just going to like Jimmy G and Stidham this thing probably and like see what you can do? And just like your corners are bad. They've swung and missed so dang much. Like offensive lines in play potentially as well. Like that's not like in the perfect situation either.
Yep.
But there's like talk about them liking Witherspoon a lot. Like, and Witherspoon's like that's an attitude that you need in your room on the back end. You need that.
I just question with Witherspoon the no testing. What's that going to do for his draft stock?
I don't think he falls further than 10.
Also, I don't either. But I've done 3 mock drafts, and you mentioned the 2 names so far that I've given them in Levis and Witherspoon, and the other one just because like trying to go a little bit off the map. I don't think it's necessarily like an Arnett situation, but Joey Porter Jr. at 7.
Could see that.
Yeah. I would also be in between the 2 names that you guys originally listed, though, with Levis and Witherspoon.
I cast my vote for Levis.
I would probably like Witherspoon's a higher rated prospect on my board currently, but I would probably go Levis here just because McDaniels. Here's the thing, like he's not the most well-liked guy. He's not an easy guy to get along with from all reports. Like he probably isn't going to buddy his relationship well enough to buy him an extra like 3rd or 4th year if they don't actually do something productive. So Levis probably isn't ready to start year 1. So you're probably going to need to get like a Jimmy G type of guy for McDaniels, which I think that makes sense. But Levis also does some things that I think would fit McDaniels' offense. Like when you think about like the ways that Brady always consistently was able to attack like the middle of the field under McDaniels, I think Levis throws in breakers with anticipation and he throws them with good accuracy. I have some of the same concerns about like, I don't think he handles pressure too terribly well. He was under a lot of it this past year and like he did not look good on like his tape was definitely a step down from where it was the year before. But I think that just schematically, I think there's some level of sense in taking a guy like Levis here that can work the middle of the field. He has that arm to where he can test, defenses vertically. He's also mobile enough to where you can do potentially some quarterback run game stuff while also being able to make plays, kind of extending plays out of the pocket too. So that Levis would get my vote here for the Raiders.
I think it's fine to go Levis here. I think the Levis landing spot wouldn't last too much longer. I think there's a team about maybe 4 spots down that would probably kick the tires on it just based on what they're doing currently with their roster. But yeah, Levis is, yeah.
Okay. Number 8, the Atlanta Falcons. This is a very interesting one. I don't even know like who to throw out there as the possibilities, to be honest with you. I mean, tackle could make sense. Caleb McGarry hitting the market, didn't franchise tag him. I'm curious as to if this is where Derrick's going to throw out the Jalen Carter slide ending. Yes.
Yeah. I think it ends here. I think I'm not sure if you guys saw it, but I think it was my buddy Daniel on Twitter said that he asked a question at the combine and apparently got a really cool answer that like the Falcons put like this little chip on their draft board from players that are from Georgia or played their college ball at Georgia. Just I don't know, it was like maybe a tiebreaker type of thing. But 8 here for Jalen Carter, like we talked about, the most talented player in the draft. I think this is stealing. This is not who I mocked them or mocked to them recently, but that's who I would go with. I think it just makes too much sense.
What about something that I did recently? Obviously, I don't know if I've seen a ton of people do this yet. This would be a huge leap from where we've seen him go in past mock drafts. A different Georgia defensive player, Nolan Smith.
Yeah, I was going to mention him as well.
Yep.
If Carter wasn't available, I think they're looking at a few. I mean, Witherspoon's still there. They could go that direction. Wouldn't hate it. I think Van Ness and Smith are the other two for sure.
Yeah. Smith was I actually mocked Nolan Smith to the Falcons in my complex mock. Right. So nice. Yeah, I just don't in the mock. I kind of did it to where I put Smith in Atlanta and then put Jalen Carter with the Cardinals in a trade down. So, but yeah, I definitely think, all those scenarios, make sense for Atlanta, so.
The Bears, after the trade down on the clock here at 9, it still lists wide receiver as their top need, despite getting DJ Moore in that deal. Offensive line very much in play. They could have their pick of the tackles. Witherspoon on the other side of Jalen Johnson could be nice. Where are we at with this one?
This is like the ultimate so many directions to go.
Yep.
With the Bears, because
another trade down, who knows what they would
want to do. I'm going to bring that up as well. I think with one certain prospect, they could trade down and potentially select, but like I would definitely consider Witherspoon if I were them. I know you just threw like a ton of resources on the back.
Are we just trying to keep guys in the same state or what? No,
I mean, maybe. I'm not opposed to it. We're taking Campsey at 10 for the Eagles. But I think Witherspoon's in play. Like Jalen Johnson's a free agent after 2023. Like you can move on from that. That's a previous regime pick, and you've got like your secondary like all set with an Eberflus defense that I feel like would appreciate it. They're probably going to spend a lot on the offensive line. Does that mean they're going to get a top tackle? Not necessarily. Even if they do, I don't think that even still rules out getting a guy like Schyvinck who can probably play multiple positions. We haven't seen him inside, but as powerful, as technically sound, as balanced as he is as a player, like I don't think it matters where you play him necessarily. So I think he's in play. But if they don't get a top tackle, like swinging for Johnson or Jones makes sense. If they move down, Bijan with Fields running game, unreal.
Yeah, I like it. I knew that's where you were going when you talked about a trade down scenario.
Yep. Yeah, that's this one's tough, man. I'll just bring up a guy. I'm all for, I could get on board with Witherspoon here. I could get on board really with Schyvinck or maybe Paris Johnson. This probably feels like where he could start to come off the board, I think. Maybe if you're looking to upgrade over Braxton Jones at left tackle, I will go back to Nolan Smith. I think he's worth this. I think he's worth top 10 capital in this class. Full disclosure, just to be positive about edge rushers, Nolan Smith is my edge too. So like I really, really like Nolan Smith. I think that he is a fantastic run defender despite his size, excellent get off, plays with a really, really special temperament and like just always 100 miles an hour balls to the wall. And I really appreciate that. I think he's going to be, he was a lot more productive for Georgia than a lot of people are willing to admit, because Georgia was beating people by like 500 at halftime. So he wasn't playing like as many snaps as like Will Anderson. Chicago, obviously they've jettisoned, Robert Quinn, Khalil Mack in recent years. Like, they don't have that type of dude. And I don't know that Nolan's that type of pass rusher early on, but he gives you the floor just being super athletic, a good run defender. And like, you just hope in the next year or two, he kind of develops more of a bag in terms of pass rushing moves, but everything else really that you want and like a really good edge defender is there. So he would be, and super, super, super high character remarks. So I think checks a lot of boxes there. So for me, it's either, if we're staying here at 9, you're either going to probably go with a guy like Nolan Smith, or you're going to try to get a tackle or Skoronski if like you view him as a tackle, but he could play anywhere, probably all 5 spots.
Yeah, I think the offensive line thing is either like safety and Skoronski, or you're swinging a little bit with the more upside guys in Johnson and Jones.
Yeah.
I'm with Skoronski for this. I don't know. I just have a feeling that's the way that they go. I've given them Paris Johnson in one that I've done. I've never given them Broderick Jones, but Peter Skoronski seems to be a pretty popular one for them now after moving back to 9. So I think that's probably where I would cast my vote.
I love the Nolan Smith idea. I do.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it. But man, you better know what Fields is after this year. I think is the biggest thing. And like, yeah, I don't mind them going safe there if that's what they ultimately decide either.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
I almost said Peter Skoronski at 10. It is not Peter Skoronski at 10. It's the Philadelphia Eagles at number 10. Devin Witherspoon sure makes a ton of sense, doesn't he? I mean, James Bradbury's leaving in free agency. I don't know what to make of the Darius Slay situation. Like, he hasn't requested a trade, I guess, but they're letting him seek one. He wants guaranteed money that's not there anymore on his contract. But don't know how that's going to play out. He is getting up there in age, 32 now, I believe, as a corner. We all know that he's past that age, but he's already beaten father time basically for the way that corners are anyway. So how long is he going to continue to do that? So Devin Witherspoon sure makes sense, but Howie Roseman loves his trenches, so could make sense on either side of the football there. What do we think?
Yeah, I think it's between 2. I actually think Skoronski potentially is in play at 10. Sure. Like, they're losing, probably going to lose Samalo in free agency. Like, it would feel a little luxury, that type of pick for Philly at 10, but like, that is just not, that's like something that I would believe Roseman doing. Like, we're going to make sure this line is top tier no matter what. I think it's Witherspoon, or Derek's probably going to bring up Nolan Smith again, and I think he should bring up Nolan Smith again if he's going to mention it. I think
from now until he goes. Yeah.
Yeah. Smith, I mean, he's one of, I think I have like 7 of my guys in this class, and Nolan's one of them. So I think he makes sense for Philly, but I'm on board here with Witherspoon. I 100%. Like, just knowing how didn't Sean Desai's there, right? Their new defensive coordinator. Okay.
Yes.
I know he's like real back end friendly. Like, that's how he builds. Like, ideally wants to build his defenses. He's from that like Fangio tree. I know typically a lot of Fangio schemes ask like your corners have to be comfortable playing from depth, and Witherspoon to me is the most technically sound corner in this class. He can play in press, he can play in off, really good back pedal. Trigger is unbelievably fast. He's physical, he tackles, tons of man coverage reps. So if you want to play a lot of man coverage, he's your guy. I know they played a lot of zone last year. He could do that too. Ball skills, checks every box. I don't think that 10 is too early for him at all. I think this is probably right about the range where he should come off. The only thing, like Zach said with Witherspoon, I just don't know how fast he is. I think he's a 4-5 guy, and it's not going to bother me if he is. I just want to know, because he didn't play any good. Like, the best receiver he played last year was probably like Charlie Jones, Jaden Reed. Those guys they're good players, like solid players. It's just he wasn't really tested like some of these other top corners were, and I didn't see very good competition on film. But then I just don't know if he has the elite recovery speed to be like a cornerback 1. But we'll see. He does everything else great, technically refined. Really, I love watching him play. So.
Yeah, I think the amount of like off man he was into, like, I don't know how, like, some of the Illinois just threw the kitchen sink at people, and we're like, all right, we trust all of our guys on the back end, and like it worked because like again,
they got the dudes.
Probably all three of them are going top 100 at this point. I would imagine like. But you mentioned it, like even if he doesn't have the top gear, and you're concerned about that, like if design is going to be in a lot more zone, perfect.
Yeah,
he can do it all. Yeah. So top down, you can turn and run. Yeah.
So that's where you are at as well, Jake.
I think so.
Okay. Well, crap. He's not going to be there at 17. There goes the dream. All right. Tennessee Titans at 11. We're only 10 picks into this thing. We're 50 minutes into this thing. I don't know how we're going to be able to like speed it up because we obviously want to talk about why we feel like they should go the direction we do. But if we, at this rate, we're going to be here until probably like 5 a.m. So pick 11 for the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, like tackle very much in play. They moved on from Taylor Lewan. Let me present one thing to you guys, and then we will see where you guys can go with it. Jake, you mentioned a fun situation for the Chicago Bears moving back and taking Bijan Robinson. What if the Titans trade Derrick Henry before the draft and take Bijan Robinson?
Entirely possible. But I do think so where was I? Oh, yeah. So Vegas has missed a ton swinging at corner. These guys keep missing at offensive line. That has to end. We have to stop that. If Skoronski's available at 11, there should be no doubt. Just go get the rock solid guy that you know is most likely going to be good. Like don't add variance to that selection. So with that, I'd probably lean Johnson a little bit over Jones here as the selection. I think he figured it out a little bit more technically by end of season, I think, than Jones had a little bit. And so I would probably trust that a little bit more in terms of pass protection. I mean, dude's got rare quicks off the ball, when they're running zone. So that's probably where I'd lean.
Yep. Tennessee, heavy zone team, love inside zone. Who knows what happens with Derrick Henry. Tennessee should have blown it up last year. Let's just be honest. They should have blown it up last year. They didn't. This team is going to be bad next year. They are going to be bad. I am 100% on board with taking a tackle. You got to get that offensive line last year was atrocious. You got to get that fixed. I mean, regardless of who's running the ball, who's throwing it, worry about that later. You gotta fix these trenches because anyone playing behind that line is just a sacrificial lamb.
The Houston Texans, you can make the case for, well, just about anything right now other than quarterback. We got that at 2. Hey, if Derek wants to make his case once again for Nolan Smith, I'd be 100% on board with him at this pick.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, man, for all the right reasons, I just think that, D'Amico, obviously a defensive guy. And I think if after you get your quarterback, getting a guy on defense to kind of be your foundational piece, I think Nolan can be that. Checks a lot of boxes. So,
and we already know they're gonna sign in free agency. My hope for the Steelers in free agency is Azeez Al-Shaair. So
yeah, absolutely,
probably true. Yep.
So here we go with Nolan Smith to the Houston Texans. All right, the Jets on the clock here. Where do they go? What are they going to get for their new quarterback, Aaron Rodgers? Do they need another offensive lineman? Does Broderick Jones make sense for them? I know that's a popular mock. Do we want to just stick with status quo on that one, or any other ideas somebody want to throw out there?
Well, we could go a little off book at the same position. A lot of smoke around Darnell Wright rising big time up the ranks.
Yeah. And I like Darnell Wright, but I've seen too many people giving him to the Steelers at 17 where I just don't want it to happen. So if he goes before 17, I'm totally cool with it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. And I think these next 2 picks, I think if we don't give Wright to the Jets, we might be doing it for New England. So,
okay.
Yep. I think I'm good with Jones or Wright. I think either one. Like it just depends. I think it just depends a lot on what the Jets want to do. If they're going to let Aaron Rodgers drop back, if Rodgers indeed goes there, if they're going to let him drop back like a ton, I'd probably trust Darnell Wright a little bit more in pass protection if they're, as a right tackle. If they're going to, not lean on him as much and lean on Breece Hall more, I want the dude who gets out in space and destroys people in Broderick Jones. So I think that's just depends on where we lean there and what the philosophy is going to be.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I love Darnell Wright. He's a first-round player all day. I think there's question marks with what's going to happen with Mekhi Becton. Is he going to be dependent on? Is he not? Broderick Jones, to me, I think he's a year away from being a year away personally. I think he's got a long way to go. Hand placement is a mess.
Oh yeah, he's
like has a really low carriage too with his hands and his pass sets.
How do I?
But he's only 20 years old, so that he has so much potential just from like an athletic standpoint. Packs a punch. Extremely athletic. When you can get him out on the edge to pull. He's a good run blocker. Like I said, I think that you just have to acknowledge that it's going to take a little bit before Broderick will be the guy. Like I think Broderick, I've been telling people about this with Dan Moore. Broderick would not beat out Dan Moore in a competition. And that's not to say I think Dan Moore is like a stud or anything. I think Broderick is a project. That's fine. Not every rookie tackle.
Project Jones.
Yeah, he's just a project. But I think the Jets, regardless of what happens here, they do probably need to think long-term with tackle because you can't depend on Becton with everything that he's gone through. They were signing guys off the street last year to come and play. I mean, Broderick is a better option than some of the guys that played for them last year at tackle. Let's be real. So,
yeah, we haven't talked about Anton Harrison at all.
I like Harrison too.
Harrison would be good. He's much more active with his hands and like in terms of like actually trying to reset and not hold on for dear life, like the guy right below him. On that list there. So I'm good with that as well. I think if they believe in Becton, then I guess if you're all in with Rodgers, you're trying to win right now. Darnell Wright in pass protection.
Keep in mind we're trying to be predictive here. So this isn't necessarily what we would do. What do we think the Jets do?
I think they lean. I actually do. I think they lean Harrison or Wright. I think Derek kind of convinced me. If like Jones, believing Jones is that far away, if the Jets want to win now, I don't know if they can afford to wait.
The only thing with Harrison is excellent feet. And I think that he's going, like you mentioned, the hands, like he's further along in that perspective than Jones, but like that offense that he played in is a little bit of a tough transition too, because they're so RPO heavy. Like he wasn't asked to like do a bunch of like vertical pass sets. So I think that Harrison's more ready to play year one than Jones. So that would probably, I could see that being the case here, to taking a guy like that. So
I'll cast my vote for Wright.
Oh boy, you're making, so Derek, where are you casting your vote? Are you with Harrison?
I think it needs to be a tackle. I'm good with whatever tackle you guys want.
All right, we're doing Darnell Wright.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're shaking things up. The Patriots, who might actually be quite upset about that selection right in front of them, are on the clock. It's funny that it lists need as quarterback. I love that from them.
That's funny.
Man, what is Belichick going to do? Who's the number 3 guard on your board, Jake?
That would be, let's take the other guard from Chattanooga, McClendon Curtis. Let's do it. Both guards from Chattanooga, baby.
That was so funny last year, Derek, during our live show. We were guessing each pick, Tyler and I, for like a competition. And Tyler was like, let me just see who the number 3 guard is on Jake's board. And it was Cole Strange for the Patriots.
Wow.
So he guessed it right. Yeah.
Good for him.
But yeah, the Patriots here, they could go weapon. They need a pass catcher. Joey Porter Jr. could make sense for them. Where are we at?
I think Porter or Broderick Jones. I think Belichick will be okay taking an offensive lineman who's a little bit more of, a project. I think they have the coaching staff that's going to build him up. They've taken the big guys, right? They love Trent Brown. Like, I think they can be on board with taking.
They love the big guys.
Well, DeJuan Jones then also would. Yeah, I get where you're going with that too.
Yeah. I like the idea of Porter here. I do. I think I can't remember who I mocked to them recently. I think it was Witherspoon because he was falling in the mock that I did, which was an interesting fit. Porter's kind of interesting because they got a bunch of mighty mites over there on defense in New England. They drafted Jack Jones, Marcus Jones. They both weigh about as much as a paperclip. So kind of
players,
Porter complimenting those guys just with that length, that strength, just the size would kind of be interesting to me. So he would probably be my pick. here just because I'm not sure.
He's my pick too, so it doesn't matter what Jake says.
Yeah, I'm there. I think it's
to the Pats.
I think it's corner or tackle. I actually don't think they're entertaining receiver at all in the first.
Okay. They shouldn't be.
Yeah. Listen, I got to make it more interesting. It's like we're in the room, all right? We got to throw all the options against the wall, see which one sticks.
Sure. Yeah.
The Green Bay Packers at 15. Luckily, nobody here is a fan of that team. No, I feel like, Jake, we got to kind of, give you the floor, kind of lean on you for where Green Bay might go with this pick.
If this were me and I was running the show, it would take a half second to make this selection. It's so easy. Jackson Smith and Jigba flanking Christian Watson is a no-brainer for me. Perfect contrasting styles. Build around your young quarterback well. I don't think they're doing that. I don't. I think here it's good. I legitimately think it's tackle or edge. I actually don't think Brian Branch. I don't think they're. It's.
What about the guy right below Brian Branch?
It could be Van Ness. Van Ness is edge or tackle. Van Ness or Murphy. I think both are options here. Murphy.
What about Zach Harrison?
Zach Harrison's a Packers guy on day 2. If they don't go edge here,
what if they just take him at 15 though? Get that fifth year.
That would be a mistake. That would be a mistake. Which is why I think the Van Ness thing for them makes a lot of sense as well. Like Rashawn Gary was a lot like that, and great athlete. Tried to run a guy over, please, and not a lot of production. Sounds very familiar. And and it actually is for kind of both guys. I think Murphy's obviously much more, technically refined, but also a guy with not a lot of production. So I'd go either one of those guys, or I'd probably lean like Anton Harrison. I don't think tackle's solved beyond 2023. That's the other thing. Like Josh Nijman might be gone. Like even if
Bakhtiari's getting like a 5-year extension, I think.
to play like 6 games a year.
Yeah. Like Bakhtiari, if he's not in the deal, right, to the Jets, one more year maybe. Like Zach Tom was fine when he was a rookie, but that's one spot. If someone else grabs Nijman, now you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know who I trust really beyond Jones and Harrison a whole lot in this class. I think there's a few guys. If they look later,
Blake Freeland.
Yeah, Freeland's on there. I don't know. I just feel like they're gonna go tackler edge. It's not as exciting. I know. I mocked them Murphy in my most recent, but that was also with Van Ness not available.
Okay.
I think if we're gonna stay predictive, I think we got to get Van Ness off the board because I think he's gonna go pretty high.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Thing.
Okay.
I've already given my thoughts on Van Ness.
I don't love this. I'll put this out there. I don't love this selection one bit. Yeah. But this is such a thing the Packers would do. And then by year 3, Van Ness is pretty good player.
Yeah. Could be.
I think Washington probably fuming that they couldn't draft Joey Porter Jr. in this spot. I really like that player team fit. But he is not here. Corner, obviously a need. They also list quarterback as a need. They missed out on the 4. You know what? Let's just do him Hendon Hooker at 16.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey,
what is he, 35 years old right now? Something like that.
He's the succession plan to Sam Howell.
Just a hair over Levis, who's 32, right? So,
a lot of different directions for the Commanders, though. And what are we thinking?
I actually think tackle is potentially something they would look at. There's a few guys that obviously I follow that are doing a lot of watching and stuff. And they're if they kick Cosme inside, they've got a tackle at 16 would be the reason to do that. And then I think they feel a lot more confident about their group. I mean, Deonte Banks would probably be the other name. I don't know if that's a name that both of you are why'd you bring that up at 16? Let that man fall one more pick. I don't know. That's probably where I'd lean.
I lean tackle here for being predictive.
Okay.
I don't see Broderick Jones falling much farther just because, like I said, 20 years old and that athletic. I just don't, as many reservations as I have about his ability to come in and play right away. I think the ceiling, we could legitimately look back and say 3-4 years from now that Jones is a top 8, top 10 type of left tackle. And, oh, yeah, he's only 23 years old. So those
Actually
types
forgot he was on the board still. So,
those types of guys just don't come around very often. I think you could definitely make a argument for corner. The interior offensive line probably doesn't offer you value at this point. So I think corner or tackle, I would probably say Broderick Jones for Washington.
I think we got to even. I'm casting my vote for Broderick Jones just so he's not on the board anymore because kind of similarly to Van Ness, I don't think he's not going to be here. Yeah. So take him before he continues to fall. The Pittsburgh Steelers at 17. Derek, I'll let you go first. Because listen, whether people want to, again, I'm just going based off things that I've heard. I got to take this information and believe in it because I didn't last year. So in my opinion, this is on the defensive side of the football. Tackle's not in play. And I don't even know what else on the offensive side really would be unless like either go out Osiris Torrance this early, but it's on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, agree. We're on the same page. I think it's going to be on the defensive side of the football. I think corner is very, very much in play. Linebacker is the one that scares me that they might do.
I just add one early in free agency and we can just not even
I am very nervous about them taking like a guy like Trenton Simpson here. I'm very nervous. Otherwise, I think corner. So let's break this down. Me and you are both on the same page. Porter is a little bit of a concern because of what? Ball production, right?
Yep.
Okay. I think the person that fits what they do, what they want to do on best defensively from a skill set standpoint is Deonte Banks. I think he's even a better fit than Porter. The problem is the same concerns are kind of there with Banks in terms of taking the football away. He only had one interception, I think, last year. He does not find the football extremely well in the air. I literally saw him drop a gift-wrapped interception in the Michigan game, which was one of the 4 that I studied. But I think a guy that can play in press, really physical, but he can also play from a pedal, really quick pedal, stays low, really good change of direction, very fluid, the type of athlete that the Steelers typically try to covet at that position, even though it usually hasn't worked out for them. He would be who I would take. I wonder if they would take a guy like Cam Smith, though, because Smith has better ball skills. That would be my concern.
And I mean, even,
I would not be for that, just to be clear.
Yeah. From just the ball production standpoint, but maybe nothing else about the scheme. The guy right under him, Emmanuel Forbes, who I'd have to lose damn near 100 pounds to weigh the same amount as.
Yeah. What's with that?
Yeah, if you just wanted to
166.
Yeah, it's funny because one of the sites I did a mock draft on had him listed at 180 or something like that.
That's
and I was
what
like,
they listed him at in school.
Oh, really? Was it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I was like, oh, that's not bad. And then the combine came around and I was like, oh, this is he's got to put on some weight. But I'm with you. I think ideally it is corner. I think that's what they want the pick to be. There would have to be like a run on corners, I think, here before them in the early teens. And if that were to happen, maybe they even get a little bit aggressive and move up. Like this isn't, Kevin Colbert's Steelers anymore. Omar Khan might be willing to do that. But I think predictive here. I'm probably slightly Cam Smith over Deonte Banks.
I am too, just because of the ball production thing. It does lean that way. And
well, see, that's so. How I was telling you about the text that I got that literally by name mentioned Joey Porter Jr. and saying that the Steelers, he wasn't on their radar as much as people thought. They weren't in love with him because of the lack of ball production. That didn't mention Deonte Banks, but maybe because they could feel the same way. It's just it didn't mention him, and I would assume that they would feel the same way.
And that's the thing with Smith, right? Like he's going to find the football. I mean, I think he had like 6 interceptions the year prior, or I mean, he had a bunch of picks. Maybe not 6. That was Forbes pick 6s, but he got his hand on a lot of footballs 2 years ago, and maybe didn't have the year this year that like maybe many were expecting. But Smith is another guy who he's really good playing like off coverage, like has really good feet, good reactive athleticism, can trigger on the ball, can play from depth. The press is a little bit more of an unknown because they didn't really let him do that as much at South Carolina. I will say this about Smith, and this is one of the things that worries me a little bit. I don't think he's a great tackler, which is not a deal breaker for me, but I also don't think he's the athlete that he tested like. I don't think he's got the on tape. I didn't think that he had like the elite third gear that he ran like at the 40 at the combine. But I could be wrong. I don't think that he looks like kind of a sub 4.4 corner on the outside. But I think the Steelers will like him though. I do agree.
Yeah, I do. Yep. Jake, anything to chime in on Cam Smith or the selection of him?
I like it. 2021 was so good.
It was good take.
Like I remember like looking because I was like, oh yeah, Cam Smith, like he's gaining traction right on the radar in terms of the draft in general back in the fall. And I'm like, all right, let's just quickly like see what he's got in 2021. Holy moly. 2021 is impressive. I still think he's got that in him though. We've seen him at the best. I think he can. This is really nice. I think value for the Steelers. I'd still probably put him for me at like cornerback 4, I think. So yeah, I like it. Was there any thought to Myles Murphy, who's actually still on the board here with the whole Highsmith situation thing going on?
Predictably, I think that deal gets done.
Okay.
But listen, like you need, 3 edge rushers anyway. I just don't think it's there. I think they could look more of like a Brian Brzee if they were going to look somewhere along that defensive line.
Okay.
Which is actually something I just did recently was Brian Brzee, and the comments were very, very happy about that with the back-to-back years of non-production, really. So, yeah, that was fun to go back and forth with people. Anyways, the Detroit Lions selected pick 18. Already having one selection, obviously. We went corner at 6 with Christian Gonzalez. Does that name that I just mentioned get any traction here?
I think it could. I also think that, like, there are plenty of, like, Lions mocks that have had Myles Murphy the pick at 6 as like, oh, this is your like big, strong, plenty of length, like strong side defensive end. Like you need to be able to edge set. Like he can do that. Whereas you have Aiden Hutchinson as your rush end. Like they still need that player. I think they wanted Hutchinson to be that. He wasn't that. So I think that's still like very much in play here. I love giving them Bijan Robinson because that's just absolutely nasty if they want to get that way on offense. Like, but also it's just a question of like, are people kind of just throwing the Brzee stuff out from 2022, which I think is very fair to do considering like all the circumstances, and it's not just injury with him, right? Like losing a family member, like that's a huge weight to carry with you as a young, person playing at like a giant stage like that I can't even imagine. So like, do teams just throw that out and like he goes higher than we think he's going to? Maybe. But I think those are probably like the options. Maybe sneakily Brian Branch if they feel like they need that other safety.
Another one Lions fans love. Yeah, they love that because he's just listed as a safety, and they have Walker and Kirby Joseph, so they don't need a safety. Jake, that's what I was told.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, they might need a slot corner.
Exactly. That's the thing is people just see safety by him and they're like, nope. We got Walker and Kirby Joseph. Don't want him.
Yeah, this one's tough. This is a tough place because I would really consider Murphy here too, but I don't know enough about their edge situation to know if that would be the smartest move. I know their linebacker situation is really bad, but I just don't think there's a linebacker on the board. Full disclosure, I had to delete some tweets because I just don't think Brzee's tape is good enough for me to get on board on round 1. Like I think the athletic traits are okay. There's enough there. That first step of his is really quick. He can get off the ball, shoot gaps. Man, he gets blown off the ball in run defense though. Like he plays super high for my liking. I don't know. I mean, I remember him as a freshman being incredibly impactful, and like everyone saw how good he was out the gate. I think that player is still somewhere in there, but beneath all the injuries.
Mid Kuiper thinks so too. Yeah.
Maybe he could get back to that, but man, it's sketchy. It's so sketchy. To me,
I'm with Miles Murphy here.
Yeah.
Even understanding like again,
Yeah.
like getting back to the 3 edge things, I get that they got some production they probably weren't expecting out of Houston last year. That's great.
But he's never going to be an every down guy though.
Yeah, this is like edge setting. Like he's not that guy either. Like they have like almost a redundancy behind Hutchinson basically in Houston. So I love it. I think that's great for them.
19 Tampa Bay. Again, you see quarterback there. I love seeing that for all these teams. But yeah, weird time in Tampa Bay, by the way. But a plethora of players I think you could consider here.
Let me offer a solution here for the Bucks. It needs to be Deonte Banks. I think if he does make it past Pittsburgh, I don't see him making it very much further.
I like Branch or Banks. That's where I've gone.
Jamel Dean is hitting free agency. He's about to cash out. The Bucks are really salary cap strapped. Banks makes a ton of sense opposite Carlton Davis, I think, for them on defense. So that would be where I would go, a sleeper kind of thing. I wonder if they would. It says tight end there. I wonder if they would take like a guy like Kincaid. I've wondered.
One of the what do you got? 5 or 6 in your top 50? Which one did it end up being? I know you were on the fence.
Yeah, I think it ended up being 4. Well, 5 right now. It's only going to be 4 though. 4 for sure. 4 for sure. But it could be 5. It's 5 right now, but I doubt it's going to stay in like that. I still have a couple bigger guys that I haven't watched yet. So,
Jake,
but yeah,
the tight ends are so good.
So good. This class is crazy.
Freaking amazing. Like it doesn't even matter what you need either. Like it legit does not matter. Like you want the run game force multiplier, you know who that is. You know, you want the multifaceted guy. Like, I mean, he's like somehow like falling out of favor for some reason. Like Michael Mayer's just that good. And then you have the pass catchers.
I think a lot of people got bored with Michael Mayer.
They did. They got bored for sure.
Yeah.
Like dude can split out wide.
Yeah.
And win. Like he did that. Like, I don't know.
You know what's interesting though about the tight ends being so good? It's like, yeah, they could like go, this range super high, but also teams might be like, oh, we can wait because they're so good. Like who knows when they're actually going to start going.
Yep. No, I agree. Banks, I'm on board. I agree with Derek a ton. Like if he falls past Pittsburgh, like imagine Detroit goes like end first. Banks could easily
hold on. Deonte Banks, Maryland. We should take that into consideration. He's definitely going to the Steelers. They don't care about the ball production when it's Maryland.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. We thought that last year about Nick Cross. I thought that was going to be a potential thing.
I love Nick Cross. What a great athlete. All right, 20, Seattle. We had a pick earlier. That was like 7 hours ago. So who was that? Tyree Wilson. That's right. At pick 5. Weapon could make sense here.
Let me cook here a little bit. This has been the pick in every single mock that I've done, which is only 2, but Jackson Smith and Jigba. Geno.
Okay, I'm excited about this.
Geno, like I said, he was cooking last year. Okay, that vertical offense. They got Lockett, they got DK. Both of those are vertical guys. I know Lockett doesn't. Either one of those guys really offer much like yak ability. It's really just Lockett's a good route runner. He can be the possession guy, but he could also get you deep. DK is one of the best straight line runners we've ever seen in the NFL. I feel like at his body type, you need a chain mover. Like there were times last year where it felt like Geno, whether it was by like his inherent nature of being like a big game hunter or some of their limitations on offense, was just always big game hunting. And I felt like that was when they ran into problems. Smith and Jigba, like you can tell Geno, like, hey bro, like it's 3rd and 6. We don't need to take this 50-50 ball to Lockett, or we don't need to take this jump ball to DK. Like we can set Smith and Jigba up on an option route on their slot corner and he's going to win like 8 times out of 10. So to me, you got your quarterback back on a friendly deal. You got bookend tackles that are ascending. You've got your 1-2 punch. You only need Smith and Jigba to do what he did at Ohio State, win in the slot and he's going to do that. That's going to translate. I don't care if he runs a 4.7 40. He's quick. I think that 100% this fit is one of my favorite fits of the first round.
Literally said that in the Seahawks mock that I did. I'm going to reply to every single person that commented on that with a link to this video because they said they wouldn't take receiver this high with all the other needs on the roster.
Let's even double down here. This is Shade Waldron offense. 3 receivers.
Yeah.
And Smith and Jigba can block.
Bro,
that's the other thing.
They were wasting snaps last year on guys like Eskridge, just random dudes that aren't I don't think that are actually.
I actually kind of liked Eskridge coming out too.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't think. Yeah. I think that could you find that guy later in the draft? Sure. There's a ton of slot receivers to this class. Are any of them as good in the slot as Smith and Jigba? No.
I'll even go further. I don't know if there's anyone better, period, than Smith and Jigba in this class. Yeah. I also think he can play Z. There's not a lot of press reps that he faced in the slot. When he did, he had an answer. Something that I think you could argue the other maybe top 2-ish guys that we're probably going to talk about very soon didn't. So
with the next pick, the Miami Dolphins select forfeited. That was interesting because they needed an offensive lineman and a corner, but corner, never mind. Jalen Ramsey now. Yeah. So take that off the board for them. But I liked it for them. Forfeited's a good player.
Yeah.
Right there with cash considerations on my big board.
Heck yeah.
A lot of upside.
21, the Chargers weapon makes a ton of sense here too. Could they be the ones to take the first linebacker?
I don't think Telesco will take the linebacker early. They've
trying to make a conversation, Jake, but
I get you. I feel like this is honestly simple. It's Zay Flowers. He's going earlier than we think he's going.
Yeah, I think okay. So Seattle doesn't take Smith and Jigba. Very possible Zay Flowers is the first wide receiver that goes off the board because of this player fit.
Yep. I think the fits here is seamless. I get wanting to be Johnson's got speed as well, and he can win down the field too. But man, Zay on this team.
Look, I completely agree. We got to get somebody on the Chargers that runs faster than a 4.8. We got to. You got a quarterback that can throw the ball 150 yards over a mountain. We've got to get someone other than a senior citizen in the slot and a go ball 50-50 guy on the outside. Zay's all gas, no brakes. I'll be honest, he don't play with a ton of route. He don't play at different pace, or he don't do a ton of manipulating with his pace at all. It's literally just straight line speed. I'm faster than you are. And that's going to work on this offense. I think that's what they need. So.
All right, there it is. 22 to the Baltimore Ravens. Nobody. They will be skipping this pick.
Who's the best player on the board that everybody's why is he here? That's probably the pick, right? That's it. Is it not?
Yeah, I mean, Tyler's going to throw his headset again, regardless of who they take.
100%. So who's really good here? If we're being predictive, who's really good left here? Legitimately.
I mean, I love me some Brian Branch, but that doesn't make sense in my opinion. I mean,
we know Bijan's really good.
That's true. That's true too.
We know Bijan's really good.
That's true too.
I mean, I don't think they need to go that direction. They only have
J.K. Dobbins is going to request a trade if that happens, by the way.
Right. Well, that's fair. And I mean, he's number 2 for sure. After that, I just don't know if that's responsible. You have 22 and 86. That's it, right? Assuming no Lamar 2 first-round pick offer sheet thing happens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure that's the smartest way to go. Edge and corner feel kind of value depleted at this point. Do they just take Johnston or Addison to be the number 2? That's kind of, I don't know.
I think I would lean taking Quentin Johnston here, just as a compliment to what Bateman already does well. I'm not sure that there is a corner on the board that I would 100% see for them. Yeah. If we are going to talk about corner as a conversation, I think it's worth noting Keely Ringo's name potentially.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like he would be the type of guy that they'd maybe want. So Ringo, I think early on, especially needs to play in a zone heavy scheme. And Baltimore last year moved away from like their heavy man stuff to more of like zone stuff, at least on early downs. So I think that could make sense. But I probably would agree, like the value here, just for how the Ravens would probably have it, wouldn't be more so like Quentin Johnston related. So
yeah. I can see that for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is Ringo good?
Seattle didn't go JSN. I think he's in play here.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That's probably what's going to happen. Mark it down. Like why is Smith and Jigba still here? Yeah, feels about right.
Minnesota doing some interesting things. Moving on from Eric Kendricks, moving on from Adam Thielen, moving on from Cam Dantzler. Potentially, they're trying to move on from Dalvin Cook. What do they do?
Branch, Ringo, Addison? Is that probably the list?
I think Addison here. Like I really do. I don't know if Addison's going to come off as early as everyone's saying, but just like I think at this point in the first round, you're getting into like, you know, a little bit of a dip in talent, in my opinion, but also just how many cloud coverages Jefferson faced last year, how many doubles, how many brackets. Addison, he doesn't have that elite third gear to consistently stretch the field, but he's going to win one-on-ones. Like I think his route running ability, that twitch, the ability to get in and out of his breaks quick, that is going to translate. And I just think with Minnesota, like they can't look at what happened to them last year, you know, with all those teams clouding coverages to Jefferson and say like, oh, like they already see that like Thielen can't be that guy anymore. Like, but how are you gonna get that guy? Like, there's not that many, you know, ballers like that can probably come in year one and just instantly be the number 2 across from Jefferson. And maybe that's even a little high for Addison year one, but I think at this point in the draft, that would be a bet that I'd be willing to swing on.
I can get behind that too.
Yeah, he's really good.
I'm a little skeptical that we see 4 receivers in a row, but
I'm not. I think this is legitimately where the run starts. Like Seattle or the Chargers are kicking it off in the 20s.
It seems like too, like I think it was it Nagy or someone else recently, or maybe it was Galco. I don't know, somebody. But there's been 1 or 2 bigger names that still are saying there's gonna be like 3 or 4 receivers taken in round 1. Like as much as it probably like this isn't that great of a class, like I don't think one goes. Like people are saying like Addison and Smith and Jigba won't be there at 17 or something. Like I 100% think that Pittsburgh's going to have their pick of the litter in terms of receivers if they really want one. Like I really do.
I've seen the earliest I've seen people give one to Houston at 12. I wouldn't do that, but
I think that's a terrible use of that draft pick. Personally,
they also just signed Robert Woods too, and if they're keeping Cooks like
and Mechie, they got
Mechie. Like the only thing that wouldn't be redundant there is maybe swinging on Johnston, but I wouldn't do that early. Otherwise, it's like, oh, Smith and Jigba is kind of Woods, Addison is kind of Cooks or Mechie, or like there's no reason to do that.
Yeah, I can't see Houston taking Quentin Johnston that early. At pick 24, the Jacksonville Jaguars on the board here. I don't even know.
This might be Ringo.
Ringo could make sense for sure. Do they start the interior offensive lineman?
That could be.
Yeah, Osiris Torrance makes sense, I think. Honestly, those would be the first 2 that come to mind. Like tight end was in play until they tagged Evan Ingram. Could they still? Maybe, but like it wouldn't be where I would go right here.
Could I interest Jaguars fans in one Brian Branch? That would be where I would potentially go.
I like it.
I mean, Jacksonville to me had some serious issues last year covering slot receivers, if I remember correctly. So Branch is better than this slot. I know the combine where he tested kind of poorly. It's gonna be, you know, unfortunately that's gonna be a thing. But I think that Branch, just some of the things that he can do for your team, you know, you're basically gonna be able to play nickel against, you know, 12 personnel because he can act as that extra linebacker with his physicality, the way he takes on blocks, his anticipation, the instincts. And I think that he's just a better athlete just in short spaces than maybe the 40 time's going to indicate. But he's one of my favorite players I've studied this draft. And I think 24 is just that he should not be on the board at this point. But I think a combine like that probably ended up pushing him to this point. But I would take him here if I was Jacksonville.
I would take him as well. Counterpoint. Balky likes big and fast.
Yeah, that's not going to be Branch.
Walker won.
That is true. That's
Hutchinson
a good point.
And Thibodeau makes me feel like this is the team that's like, oh, Ringo's going in the first. Who's taking him?
Yeah.
Probably these guys, which I don't know which I don't like. I loved Derek the rationale for taking Branch. I just don't know if the Jaguars.
Who was their like main slot corner last year? Because didn't they move Darius Williams to the outside?
So they had Trey Herndon. Yeah. So it was Williams, and then I think they figured out that he really couldn't do it. Or maybe I have this backwards, but I'm pretty sure it was Williams at first, and then they figured out that he wasn't
to the outside,
doing it very well. They put him on the outside, and he started playing better on the outside. But then they moved Trey Herndon in there, and like Herndon's not really that great of a player either. So I'm not
Shaq Griffin.
Yeah. So I don't know. And yeah, I do agree.
Predictably, I'd go Keely Ringo.
Yeah, that's a good point for Jake. I think that it does make sense. Just thinking about Walker, the raw athlete, Ringo kind of fits that mold. So
it worries me that they would do this. But it worries me.
The New York Giants missed out on that little wide receiver run by a little bit. Is there still another one on the board that we would take? Do they go a different direction? What are we thinking?
I mean, Dalton Kincaid's kind of a receiver, no?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. They didn't miss out on the pass catching run quite yet. Dalton Kincaid.
Yeah, Kincaid, maybe.
I mean, Utah was running screens with this dude. So
yeah, I mean, is this the beat? I mean, oh, man, I don't know. Like they could, I don't know where the heck they would go. Like Hyatt, I don't think that makes sense. They don't. That's not big. They need like. They've got their type. Like Downs is like almost a mirror of like Wandale.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm all in on Kincaid here. I think
I don't know what else it would be, dude.
I don't
maybe
want
Torrance, but
yeah.
Would they be the ones to take a linebacker?
They could be the ones to take a linebacker. Yes.
So is Martindale still there?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe Trenton Simpson.
It's possible.
So it's Kincaid or Trenton Simpson.
Oh man.
I personally think Kincaid is a wonderful for a team. Here's the thing with like him versus Mayer in a spot like this. I'm not sure that Mayer is the type of athlete to ever be a number one receiving option in an offense. And rarely do we ever see that with tight ends anyway, right? But Kincaid, what he does as a receiver, like he can be a featured part of a passing offense from day one. And the Giants, they don't really have a featured receiver right now. Like Kincaid could step in here next year in a low volume passing offense for the Giants and still probably have would it surprise you if he had like 80, 90 targets? I mean, that's a ton for a tight end, but like it wouldn't surprise me. Like he's that good. The way that he moves is different for a tight end. He plays, he has like natural receiving, ability, and the way that, you can move him around. He can play outside. He can play in the slot. He can play inline. He's not the traditional blocker that like Mayer or even a guy like Washington is, but he separates. He separates, and he's got weird yak ability. Like, I don't want to say Travis Kelce-ish, but like he has weird movement about him, the way that he like moves after the catch. And I gotta throw a shout out to my buddy that I do our podcast with, Nick Martin. He called Kincaid He called Kincaid the best pass catcher in the class.
I thought you were gonna bring up, if we don't take Kincaid here, let him fall to the Chiefs to end round one.
Well, he's wanted that too, but I can't disagree.
You know what?
Like,
That's why
I really think
I'm
he's
taking
the
him
best
here. Nope.
receiver.
No.
Take
We're taking him here, so he's not there for the
So
Chiefs.
Danny Kelly obviously does the Ringer NFL Draft Guide, and for his shades of, right, he does that with like the comp. He goes shades of. I don't even want to say it, but I'm thinking it. We all know who that is,
Dude. It's weird.
So
it's weird. He's not
we
like
all
a
know who
special
that is.
athlete, but either is Kelsey. The way that they have like eyes in the back of their helmet, and they sense where defenders are, and they're not super straight line fast, but they still run away from guys. They're weirdly elusive. It's just weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else in the receiver class runs a better hitch route than him. Like, I don't know how sudden he makes that. Like, he makes it look ridiculously quick.
Hitches and sales.
Yeah,
Wild.
I actually would have liked if he fell one more pick. I would have made the argument for him to be the Dalton Schultz replacement / upgrade for the Dallas Cowboys offense. Jerry Jones would have also loved to get somebody that could catch a football as the pick here at 26. So, I don't know.
I've got the guy.
Okay,
I've got the guy.
Is it
your
Drew
run
Sanders?
defense was awful in between the like interior?
Smith.
Yeah, it is.
It's gonna be.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, this is it. Like I don't know where else I'd lean here necessarily. Like Brzee and Kancey just aren't the players you need. Like, you don't need those guys. Like, you kind of have that. Like, Oso Digazua's got some chops. He can get after the quarterback. Like, they're in a great situation defensively when they get you behind the sticks. But early on, Green Bay slashed them to bits. Green Bay was not a good football team last year. They smashed them to bits running the football. That can't happen anymore. We got to figure that out. Miley Smith's a tremendous athlete. He can unlock maybe a little bit more pass rush wise, but like, this is like eat space, and let everybody else work around you.
Yeah, that's man. Do y'all think he goes that early though? Yeah,
I had him sneaking into round 1. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I kind of think he might.
I mean, he's a freak, and I like Mozzie. That fit here probably makes sense. I think Michael Mayer as a because we haven't picked him, right?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
We've got a couple options though.
Yeah, I think he makes some sense here. I would also maybe throw out some Drew Sanders love. I'm not
I said
crazy.
first
Like
one I said,
this is early in my opinion for him, but I think there's a need there with Van Der Esch walking in free agency. I also think Sanders is a little bit maybe more. He's a little bit better processor against the run than you'd anticipate for a guy that's only played off-ball linebacker for 1 year. I think definitely more so than a guy like Simpson. And I do see some like maybe Van Der Esch kind of vibes from him. I'm not really sure why, but yeah, I'm good with Mozzie though. I think,
like the Mozzie pick. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree. Like you can't just get bullied up front, and they did last year.
The Buffalo Bills.
This is easy.
Yeah, I don't think that we can continue to have them slide. You know, there was 2 other players earlier that we took just because we knew they wouldn't be around. I don't know that he's going to be around either. Where is he? There he is.
Oh, you meant him.
Oh,
I thought this is it for Brian Branch. I thought this is it.
Okay.
I thought this is it for Branch.
Yeah. That also.
I get this. I don't know. Do we think the Bills, who have like the Bengals absolutely bullied them for one,
yes,
up front, they, obviously like they're potentially losing Singletary. I get that.
Yeah.
They spent a round 2 pick on James Cook. Do we want to keep spending draft capital at running back early when you have some troubles at guard, when you have some troubles at defensive line, and when you're losing Jordan Poyer? That's the only thing. Like, I get it. Because, like, yes, I mean, problems for defenses, but also I'm concerned about the trenches for Buffalo. And if that doesn't get fixed, we're going to keep running into buzzsaws in the playoffs, and we're going to get just leveled like that again and again. Like, we can't keep doing that. So, like, even if you were like, Brzee, or,
yeah,
if you feel like Anton Harrison can step in and you feel like, okay, he's going to step into one of the tackle spots, we don't believe in Spencer Brown anymore. Like, I can get on board with a lot of things. I get it. If you guys overrule, that's totally fine. I understand that. I just think the Bills are getting bullied in spots they can't keep getting bullied in.
I agree. I just also think they haven't had a running back for even longer than they've been getting bullied.
Well, that's fair. No, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen can't continue to be your leading rusher. Like, you need to find a running back who just so happens he would also be your second best pass catcher. That includes Gabe Davis. I don't care. So.
But
and
also
you have him
deep
for
class.
5 years.
Yeah, that's true. But also deep class. Like,
it is
names.
Well, that's the thing too. It's like, even if Bijan goes higher, like, I've seen people give him, I don't know if I would do it considering what you're saying with all the other help that they do need. I've seen people give him Jahmyr Gibbs though, like, later on if they don't get Bijan. At that point, I'm probably not doing it. Like, this is the only guy that I would make this pick for them and not take Brian Branch or go a different direction. Derek's just been waiting in the wings, chomping at the bit here.
I think so.
The Bills are tough, man, because I do agree. Like, they could upgrade anything on offense, and I would say, like, oh, it makes sense. Like, Gabe Davis was a disappointing wide receiver too. They could upgrade receiver. Their offensive line fell apart. I felt like at times late in the season. That makes sense. Their running back room still, it leaves a lot to be desired, depending on what you think of James Cook. I think Cook could be a starter in the league. Defensively, got pushed around in the playoffs. Like, they've had some disappointing outings defensively in the playoffs the last couple of years. Branch is the best player on the board to me at a position that I guess people value. Maybe not. I don't know. People are weird about slot corner. Robinson's not going past 28. Cincinnati will take Bijan. I don't see a world in which they don't.
Which they can afford to, though. That's the difference. That's like the difference, I think, is like a huge deal.
But I'm saying for the point of the mock, I don't want to be miserable going to sleep knowing that I mock Bijan.
I'm fine if you guys overrule. I'm good with it. We can help the Bills out. They've got 2 more.
Yeah, if it was me, I would be incredibly I would probably be a little bit more, I guess, excited about going a guy like Anton Harrison, getting Allen like a young tackle with some serious upside, especially as a pass protector. I think I would be in favor of like Harrison going here. He's a guy that I really like, so that would probably be my vote.
We have now. What in the world are we gonna do?
So Bijan, we just flip a coin.
I will concede the flip to Bijan if that's what you guys.
Well, no, Derek.
Because
I'm
going to tell you, the Bengals are picking somebody pretty fun, no matter what. I think.
Yeah.
So,
I'm good with Bijan. I mean, like I said, I think you can go any different way. Okay. Bijan at 27 is pretty incredible. I mean, I don't like taking running backs in round 1, but I think a guy that special at 27, like, that's good value in a class like this. Yeah. In a class like this, for sure. I agree.
All right, 28 Cincinnati. Sorry, you can't take Bijan, but Jake has an idea for you.
Yeah, this is Mayer or Darnell Washington.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter which one. If you feel like we're gonna just eviscerate people,
it's been Mayer 11, for me, but
I think if you don't take Mayer here, he's going next. Because you're going to need him there as well. But, man, giving Burrow Darnell Washington is a scary, scary thing. And, like, I think with Washington, it's just like, I think he's still growing into his frame and into his body right now. He feels like there are times where he looks springy and quick and everything's firing and, like, he's getting open on his own. Then there are times where he just looks like I'm struggling to be coordinated when I run. Like there is that point, but also, man, 3rd tackle, basically 2.5 tackles, also red zone threat. Like, oh man,
yeah,
nightmare fuel for like the AFC if they get Washington and he hits the sliders even get North, if the sliders even get to like 85 with him, problems.
Yeah,
for opposing defenses.
Man. I agree. I think Mayer here I think it would be something.
I'm thinking
Bengals
Davis Allen makes a ton of sense.
I think Mayer definitely makes sense here, man. Like you talk about like just the two-way potential as a blocker, as a receiver, and I also think Mayer is just like the thing that I think of like when watching him is just the toughness. Like that guy to be that guy, like that security blanket, cliche as it sounds, to make the tough catches up the seam over the middle of the field. They've got the flash, right? Like Jamar, freak athlete, straight line speed, yak threat. T. Higgins, your ball winner on the outside. You still got him for another year or two. But a guy to work underneath in the middle of the field, make all those tough grabs, like Mayer just makes too much sense for them, in my opinion.
I'm really hoping it's just another year or two that Cincinnati has T. Higgins.
Yeah,
for sure.
Prayers.
Michael Mayer looks like he should be playing in like a Disney Channel movie of a football player, but he doesn't play like the pretty boy that he looks like. All right, moving on. New Orleans Saints here at pick 29. I'm curious to see if I can get at least one of you guys to say the same player as me, but I'm not going to say mine yet, so we will see what you guys think first.
I think the Saints are definitely a team. Like, okay, what I would do here, I'd be like, cut our losses. Trevor Penning pick. That was bad. Anton Harrison. Bam. Fix that problem. Done. Like, Derek Carr is protected. But also, is this the team that takes Adetomiwa Adebawore in the first round?
Yeah, it's close.
Is this the team? But Brazil feels like the bigger swing that they would take as well.
Yeah, I think defensive line makes a ton of sense for the Saints. I mean, Cam Jordan can't play forever, right? I mean, he can't play forever. Marcus Davenport's hitting free agency. You know, in recent years, they've let guys, go. Hendrickson, they let him go. It just feels like they need to kind of restock a little bit up front in the trenches. And, I think would Kalijah Kancey be crazy here?
That's the one I was thinking. It wasn't the ones that Jake said. He's not going to give you anything in the run game.
No, nothing. Like literally absolutely. But
interior pass rush.
Here's the thing, and this could be like hot take-ish for like some people.
He's going to say it.
He's the best. He is the best pass rusher in the class. I think just from a skill set perspective, he's unbelievable. I don't understand how a dude has this many freaking moves.
Did you even notice I muted your mic for a second?
Yes, I said your host unmuted your mic. No, but like, dude, this dude has like a bag full of moves, and he just whips people. Like he's incredibly explosive. The first step, the wiggle, the twitch, can swim, two-hand swipe, cross chop, like has counters on counters. It's just, I don't know where to value him. Like it's tough for me. I know I would be absolutely floored if he wasn't a high pressure guy at the next level as a pass rusher, but I don't think he's ever going to be even an average run defender. I don't. So like, where do you take a guy like that?
That's the problem. Does New Orleans have the guys to hide him?
Yeah. Because you can hide an edge defender that can't set the edge or that, kind of gets washed out. It's hard to hide a defensive tackle. It's tough.
Yeah.
If he's the pick here, is he what they needed Marcus Davenport to be? Potentially?
Like let him rush outside a little bit?
Yeah, let him do both potentially. Would you let him do both?
If you're going to do that, would you rather have Adebawore?
Maybe. I'm going to look at the Saints salary cap table really
quick. I think the conclusion
they literally don't have anybody. They don't have anybody in there right now.
No.
They don't have anybody.
Conclusion we've come to is this should be on the defensive line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've said 3 names and they're on the defensive line.
Like if Mozzie Smith was here, that no doubt about it. Like they have nobody. Like they're paying Onyemata $10 million this year, whether he's on the team or not. Defensive tackle, that's it on the team right now. So, like, this is way too early for Ika. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, way too early.
Can't do that here.
I'm leaning.
I'm good with either one, any of them, honestly.
I'd probably say Adebawore if we're talking about someone that can rush inside out. It's not that I don't think Kancey can necessarily do that. It's just I don't know that we've seen enough to think that he could or feel great about it. So
at 30, Howie Roseman did not get his trenches at 10. Does he do it at 30?
This is where perfectly what Derek said. Can you hide this guy? Jordan Davis can hide this guy.
Yeah.
In Kalijah
This is where I mocked Kancey.
Jordan Davis can hide him. Yeah.
Well, they're going to lose Hargrave, right?
Yes.
Kancey offers the same type of.
I mean, did you see the deal that Deron Payne got? What do you think Javon Hargrave is about?
Yeah, he's going to get a
so
number.
you lose your pass rushing defensive tackle. You already have your run stopper. Insert Kancey, and Philly likes to rotate their defensive line so damn much. Who cares? Kancey's going to be like, "Oh, you only want me to play 30 snaps a game, and you want me to rush the passer on 25 of them? Oh yeah, definitely, I'll do that." And he's going to come away with like 3-4 pressures a game. It's going to be stupid.
I know you want to take Anton Harrison here. It makes a lot of sense.
I mean, some of the names that are about to get out of the first round, I just can't believe in general. But
I know.
Yeah. But it's going to happen. I mean, there's going to be at least a name or two that we're like, how? Like, I was so surprised a couple of years ago when Asante Samuel Jr. got out of the first round. But it happens every single year.
Same.
This is going to piss everyone off. For sure. There's little doubt. I know tackle is an issue, but if you're giving me the chance to give Luke Musgrave or Darnell Washington to the Kansas City Chiefs at 31, I'm going to do that every single time. If they're going to stay in 12 and 13 more,
yeah,
why not?
Dude, what if Noah Gray is that guy?
I don't need Gray and Fortson on my field.
What if we could give them a tight end that was better than Musgrave or Washington in this class?
Are you going to say
there
Sam
isn't
Laporta?
One left. I'm going to be honest. There isn't one left.
Are you going to say Sam Laporta?
I did not say it.
He's good, though. I agree.
You like him more than Washington. I'm not surprised by the Musgrave.
I definitely like him more than Musgrave. To me, him and Washington are in the same range. I think they're just kind of what you
but look at his face right now. We're on him right now. Does this look like a guy that should go before
Jake?
Washington?
With Jake as my witness, because I know he's an Illinois guy.
Yeah.
What Laporta did to them boys,
they can't cover. They couldn't cover him.
What he did to them boys at the Illini back end, he should have gotten arrested. He was putting Sidney Brown in a blender, in an absolute blender.
Oh yeah.
It was bad. No, I really like Laporta. I don't think he goes to the first round, but top 50, he should, 100% in my opinion.
He was arrested, but he wasn't found guilty because the rest of Iowa's offense was so bad. They're like, yeah, whatever, it doesn't matter.
We gotta let him go. What about I just want Harrison. I mean, that's a no-brainer to me because of
we can
the need at tackle. What about a guy that I don't think is this type of player?
You can keep talking, but I'm making this pick so we can move on to second round.
What about Jalen Hyatt?
Yeah, maybe. I just think if they're gonna stick in like 12 and 13 a lot, like either like if Harrison's not here, which he might not be when the time comes, like having a dude who can run 20 miles per hour in Musgrave down the field, that's not okay. Like the Chiefs took Edwards-Helaire in the first round. I feel like everything's on the table.
Yeah,
for them at 31. Like,
Darnell
Washington, they end up socks off. Like,
they end up in the AFC Championship game at the very least every single year. So it's like, how can we question what they really do, regardless of if it's a bad pick or not? So, all right, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a way that we can kind of get this rolling more so we're not spending 2 hours on each round.
Do you want to have one person just make the pick and just move on and just
know what, Jake, that's why you're here. That's a fantastic idea. And because the Pittsburgh Steelers picked at 32, I'm gonna let the only person that makes sense make this pick. Go ahead, Jake. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, Derek. The floor is yours for pick 32.
Who did we take at 17? Did we take Cam Smith?
Cam Smith.
They're gonna do something that's gonna disappoint me. They're taking Trenton Simpson here, 100%. They're gonna see the athleticism. They're gonna say we can mold this guy into like a pure linebacker. It's gonna be Trenton Simpson. I just
oh no.
And me doing this with Brian Branch still on the board at 32.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like,
it really makes me want to cry.
Yeah.
I don't even want to hit the mouse, dude. Yeah, so here's the thing. If they're going to move back, this would probably be the spot that it happens at. It's not happening at 17. I fully think that they stick and pick somebody on defense at 17. This spot, but it's what's done is done. Trenton Simpson, the Pittsburgh Steeler. All right,
that just happened.
Jake, I'll let you go here. We'll just go in this order from now on.
Okay. Houston has Young. Who else did they take? Did we take Trench? What did we do? Nolan Smith. Holy cow! Yeah, this is great.
You're building a good team so far, Jake.
Like, there's just no way that we can't let this guy keep going down the board. Like, is he too similar to Petrie and King? Like, is that just it? We shouldn't do that.
I think it might be a little redundant, but it is your team. You're the Houston Texans.
All right, let's bet on the potential of Brian Brzee, and we're gonna get after quarterbacks with Brzee and Nolan Smith. Let's just leave it at that.
That's a good pick, in my opinion. All right, the Arizona Cardinals need everything, but I'm gonna take the first guard in the Cyrus Torrance.
That's a good idea.
All right.
I mean, somebody's got to block somebody. Like, I don't know. They probably still gonna have like 4 free 100%. Rushers, but 100%. At least one guy's getting blocked.
Is Harrison still on the board for the Colts?
Who?
Harrison? Is he still on the board? Oh, we took Harrison. I got you.
Kansas City had to make sure they get that 5th year.
Ooh, they love their bigs.
Juwan Jones is there.
They love their bigs. Oh dear.
Yeah,
Keys there if you want to back up for Anthony Richardson.
Give me
still some intriguing edge guys.
Give me Juwan Jones. I think that could make some sense potentially.
It does. It definitely does.
Oh,
the Rams at 36.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it's offensive line or it's edge. You just cut Leonard Floyd.
Mm-hmm.
Insert Will McDonald, probably.
Okay.
I think you insert him.
I like it. I think. Listen, if you could have picked Brian Branch there, and I would have just said like, okay, the Rams basically had a 1st-round pick this year. Will McDonald's
we're not making him that lucky.
All right, Seattle. What did John Schneider give them so far? That's right, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and I want to say it was Tyree Wilson. So edge and wide receiver. Man, I should have kept Osiris Torrance for them.
Center's on the need list too.
It is.
Could kick it off.
Well, Steve Avila's a good player.
You're not picking a running back?
Not yet.
Okay.
That's 3rd round. Where is he? We're doing John Michael Schmitz for them.
All right.
Feel free to chime in on any picks as well.
I'm gonna do this one for Al Davis.
Yes.
I'm gonna take Emmanuel Forbes.
Okay.
Just because he ran a 4.36. They need corner help. Man. I am not convinced Forbes can play outside at 155 pounds and a couple paper clips in his back pocket, but hey, Davis would do it, so I'm gonna do it.
Love it. Panthers at 39.
Gosh dang it. Am I going to keep letting Branch fall? Because I keep getting teams that have the same player. Crap. I mean, I think you have to build around Stroud here. I just don't know which tight end I'm going to pick here. I don't want to force the issue at receiver. Give me oh man. I can't. These guys are going to go before Laporta, even though I think Laporta would be the best friend of Stroud. Give me Musgrave. I have a feeling he's just going to go earlier than some of the guys he probably should go earlier than.
All right, I'll just take him off the board here. I'll stop the slide. Saints are going Brian Branch. You're welcome, Nate Williamson.
Unbelievable pick.
Oh man. What do we have so far for the Titans? We gave them a tackle, right? Paris Johnson.
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Paris Johnson 11.
Man, they really need an edge defender, but I feel like who I would probably pick here is Ojulari, and he's a little redundant with Harold Landry. And DK Uzama, it feels probably about the range maybe that he could start to come off. But who's the slot receiver right now for the Titans? Is it Kyle Phillips?
Yeah.
Give me Josh Downs. Give me Josh
it
Downs.
right in front of what I was going to give Cleveland. Dang it, bro.
Oh, good.
Well,
Snipe.
Take Tanner McKee.
They're taking Darnell Washington here.
Oh, my God.
Sorry.
So he ends up in the AFC North anyway.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we didn't go to Cincinnati. So
yeah,
two tight ends from this class coming to the AFC North. This is unbelievable. All right.
I'm sorry I did that.
The New York Jets, so far, we took, Darnell Wright. That's right. Didn't do that on purpose.
What if Aaron Rodgers up and retires mid-season? Kind of a backup plan,
Yeah.
Oh,
man. I actually might need to phone a friend for this one. What do you guys even think would be in play here for them?
They just brought back Quincy Williams, right?
They did.
2-day
3-year deal. Yep.
Oh goodness. What's their center situation look like? Is it bad?
I don't know. Connor McGovern's a free agent.
Oh, it's bad? Oh, it is bad. Yes, this is true. Oh, it's bad.
Who you thinking? Whippler or?
I'd say Whippler, Tippmann, probably. Yeah, I think you could convince me with either. Whippler might be a little bit better in pass pro, I think, than Tippmann.
Well, yeah, because Tippmann's like 6'6". It's hard for him to get.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true.
He's half a foot taller than Kalachik Hansey.
All right, yeah, you convinced me. I'm going Luke Whippler here. The Atlanta Falcons at 44.
This is me too. We gave them Jalen Carter, right?
They did. Yep, they were the team that did it.
Okay. All right. Give me BJ Ojulari. Give me the speed bender off the edge.
I like what they're starting to build there.
We're going to finally have pieces around Grady Jarrett.
Arnold Ebiketie last year, who I like. Okay. Oh, look at this. Look how this played out.
No, look at this. We love to see it.
This is why we did it like this.
I sniped myself with all the tight ends. That was smart. Oh, boy. Well, yeah, they're not taking the smalls there. Oh, man. Antonio Johnson plays the same position that Savage probably will end up playing. I don't like the tackles here. I don't even like the safeties here. This legitimately might be Laporta, actually.
Okay.
I think I don't know where else I'd lean. I don't even know if this is a reach, honestly. Maybe a hair, but like based on what's here,
this is value right here.
I like this.
I mean, he's to me I like Tucker Kraft. He's okay, but like that's the last tight end that's there that I feel like really, really good about from this class.
Yeah, I'd say so.
No, it's me. Unfortunately, I have the Patriots. Hey, it says they need QB. I'm just listening to the board here. No. Who was it before? JPJ?
It was, I think, yeah, JPJ. It was.
Ooh, okay.
There might be a guy who played tackle in college. I don't know if he's going to play tackle in the league, though. Small school fella from our favorite small school. Maybe they don't need
Mock.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I just don't know where they're valuing him. Like he took snaps at center in Mobile.
Yeah.
So it's like that. Is that like, oh, Nagy and the coaching staff's like, we're listening to the NFL, we're going to put him in there, then obviously probably not.
Ooh.
I just don't want you to take my player.
I'll take mock.
Oh man,
Cody, mock draft.
Okay. Yeah, so I am going to take Steve Avila from TCU. Guard center versatility, that thick frame, good in pass protection, can anchor. He's huge. I think he's like 335 pounds. I'm just saying we get this offensive line, him and Broderick Jones, ready for whoever's going to take Sam Howell's job next year.
I think this is pretty simple here for the Lions. Your head coach is Dan Campbell. Your new linebacker is Jack Campbell.
Like it.
That's the kind of analysis you can only find here on this YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Ooh. So it just so happens that now I have the Steelers pick.
Yeah, and you're taking Tank Dell. Damn.
Ooh, you will.
All right, we got a corner and for some reason a linebacker in Trenton Simpson.
This is
Who
true.
took that? You just passed him.
Ooh, yeah, you did just pass him. Oh, you did.
I'm seeing something here. You just say Keanu Benton?
That man is a beast. I should have taken him for Detroit, honestly.
Yeah.
He's going to be a Steeler.
You're talking about Benton, not Ego, right?
It's either Benton, but there's also another name that I didn't see on here, but I know we haven't talked about.
I know who. I know. Is it? Let me see if I can go to him right now.
He is definitely going to be a guy the Steelers are going to like.
We're here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's already got a confirmed top 30 visit, right?
Yep, and a formal visit at the combine.
Yeah.
Good athlete.
I'd
really
rather
raw.
have Benton. So I'm taking Benton.
Like it.
Yeah. Is this me?
So this is you. Yeah.
That's good that I didn't do any research while you were picking. Who did we give them in the first?
This would have been Deontay Banks.
Deontay Banks. God bless America. Center. See, Jensen he signed a new deal though last year. Why are they saying need at center? Who's the Musgrave still on the board?
No, we took all the top.
All the tight ends are gone,
except
Tucker Kraft.
Yeah.
What's the defensive line look like right now?
Like interior edge.
Interior. Honestly, Dexter would probably be the guy that I would take here, just because I think he's a little further along or a little further away. But I'd probably take Dexter here. This is probably about the range he could come off if the Steelers don't take him at 49.
Top 50.
Yeah.
Seattle 51.
All right. So 2 options, I think, here. No, maybe there's 3. We go any level of defense, I think, is in play here. I don't know if Carl Brooks could make sense of pass rushing defensive tackle, maybe kick him outside, depending. But Drew Sanders still here. Sanders and Brooks. Boy, we're cooking with gas there. Derek, I'm gonna phone a friend here. How do we feel about Julius Brents in Seattle?
We just get the build corners. That's what we want.
Yeah,
I like it though. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it. I like it a lot.
All right. That's what we'll do. Go Julius Brents.
I have Miami, and this is their first pick.
No,
right?
they got forfeited in round 1. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's right. Yeah. But they do have this pick because they didn't even have to give up this pick for Jalen Ramsey. So
I can't believe that.
And I have no clue what to do here, honestly.
Actually, this could be Sanders. Potentially.
This could be a running back.
It could be. That's the true danger. That's the real danger. skip
until they
offensive
trade
line
for Derrick Henry.
Well,
and just don't have a draft pick.
Or they trade for like Nick Chubb.
Yeah, they should do that actually.
In fact, let's do that right now.
Yeah, can we make that? We can make that trade.
So what do we think? Jahmyr Gibbs in play? Is that what we're saying?
Gibbs is RB2 for me, so that's who I would take if I was them.
I have a feeling they might like Charbonnet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think Charbonnet is going to come off. I don't know if he's going to come off before Gibbs, but it might be closer than we realize. Just because, I mean, he's bricked here, so you can take it. That's fine.
All right. The Chargers. We gave them some speed on offense.
Good.
Don't particularly love the board for them. But I do know one thing about the Chargers. They have, for whatever reason, let the linebackers walk that can cover, Kaiser White, and they've kept linebackers that can't cover, like Kenneth Murray. What about getting a former receiver convert in Henley to come in and cover a little bit for their defense? Good athlete.
They are very high on him on PFF as opposed to PFN or Watch Draft Database.
Yeah, I mean, he's a really good athlete, really fluid. I think he's a total project playing the run, but I mean, isn't that kind of what Murray is going to do for you? I mean, he's a pretty good tackler in comparison to the other linebackers that came off the board ahead of him. So,
yeah,
I don't think that's crazy.
Who's like the best punter for Chicago? No, I think this is Drew Sanders. Let him rush too. I mean, let him do a lot of things. I think you could talk me into defensive line potentially or edge, maybe Anadika Azama, but like, because we took Skoronski, I believe. Yeah, Skoronski, Sanders. Unfortunately a good start for Chicago.
So we got for Detroit so far Gonzalez, Murphy, Campbell.
That's a heck of a trio on defense, man.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
If only Gibbs were still here.
Well, he's not. So
then we'd be in trouble. The NFL, that is.
The other running back you just mentioned is.
It's true.
But he's not going to be the pick. Let's see, we got a receiver.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Ooh. I wonder if you're saying that about the same name I am.
Oh, my gosh.
I really like this guy. Just run past everybody. I'm going Tyler Scott. What? Oh, I thought I exited out of everything, to be honest. I'm going Tyler Scott. It was between him or Hyatt for the speed. Also, is my mouse dying? I think it might be because now I can't click on anything.
It doesn't want you to pick Scott over Hyatt.
Yeah. I don't think it wanted me to do it, but I'm doing it.
My goodness.
Is Tippmann still on the board here?
He is.
That's who I'm picking for Jacksonville. Give me a little zone blocking.
I like it.
Ability in the middle at the pivot.
Dang it. Dang it. You have to be kidding me. All right. Let's see here. Hyatt. Took Kincaid. Took Kincaid in the first, Hyatt in the second. I think that's probably where I'd go here. I don't love the linebackers left for them. I don't love the centers left either. Like I like Stromberg. I like Oluwatimi. Probably got to stop the Hyatt slide at some point. Might even be in consideration the first for them.
Could be. I like the other receiver at Tennessee too.
Yeah, Dallas is punching air.
You mean
now.
the better
Hyatt
one?
goes. Yeah, no, I agree. Dallas is punching air though. Hyatt plus CeeDee Lamb. That would have been the.
They are punching air.
Fit.
We took Mozzie Smith. Was that the only pick so far?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yikes.
Not a great board for them.
Oh,
Good God.
Well.
Nothing's jumping off the pit.
Oh, shoot. There is that guy.
I don't think this player's going to be around at this point. He might be, but
I think he's going next if you don't pick him.
I'm going Keon White.
Okay.
Who did we give the Bills earlier? Was that
we settled on Bijan?
Bijan. Okay. What's the interior offensive line? Actually, just what's the offensive line look like in general? Bergeron's an interesting piece. A lot of tackles. Nothing really interior that Voorhees would have been a guy that I'd at least thought about. Give me Bergeron as a developmental tackle for the Bills.
Okay. I think.
I don't know. Are they going to get a deal done with Burrow, or do you start thinking about Tanner McKee?
Do you even need Burrow if you have Tanner McKee waiting in the wings? I mean, people are asking.
It's true.
Fifth-year option might not even get.
Gosh, keep getting sniped. I was gonna take Bergeron. This might be where I start talking about Zach Charbonnet.
I like that. I think since he's a sneaky team that's going to take a back in the first 2 rounds. I would be surprised if they didn't.
Based on who's here.
All right, are you talking about it, or am I hitting draft player?
Let's do it. We'll keep rolling. I just think, like, based on what's there, like, tackle, maybe, but, like...
Yeah. Okay, Chicago's got Drew Sanders.
And Skoronski.
And they have another pick coming up here pretty shortly.
Yeah, you'll be up. So
what? Oh,
it'll be you.
It'll be me again.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have given them, gotten in the tight end action for them.
Yeah. That's not bad.
No, but
I agree.
We're giving Tyreek the Freak. I think you could have made the case for corner earlier. You don't know what the future holds for Jalen Johnson.
Philly. What did we go for Philly earlier?
I think we took Cansey, right?
Cansey
and Witherspoon at 10.
All right. I'm just saying it. Philly has all their components on offense, right? They've got every single thing they could possibly want and need.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Jalen Hyatt out of the slot. Let's get a little freaky.
We took him, right?
Did we take
Giants?
Him? Oh no, that's who I wanted. Okay. What are the edge?
Not only did he get taken, it was in the same division.
That hurts. That hurts me. What's the edge look like aside from Uzama? I'm just saying if there's anyone else I prefer here. Below 2, I like him. He's probably too similar to. Okay, I'll take Uzama.
I don't know, your boy's down here.
My dog, him and Yaya. Just need one of them to become Steelers on day 3 this year.
All right, Kansas City.
I think this is probably gonna be Foskey for me. Unless I see something else.
Okay.
Nope. I think we're going to go Foskey.
He's a little bit further down here than I thought. Like, I didn't even catch him at first.
Yeah, I think it sounds like the league's lower.
And
I mean, he's good. I like him, but I mean, he's got to add to the repertoire a little bit. I don't know if
he was doing the same moves this year that he was doing last year.
Yeah, he's got that nice cross chop. But what else you got?
Lots of stabs.
What else you got?
Chicago. We got a nice blend of what we've done so far. There it is.
I like that.
I'm just diversifying both sides of the football here.
We We got Bryce. I think Nolan.
Yep, and then the last one was Brzee. Yeah.
Man, we're cooking with gas. All right.
I'll say.
Man, I feel like we kind of gotta look at a weapon here, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Tank Dell, him and me are about the same size. What else we got? Receiver wise.
There's Cedric Tillman.
There we go. That's what I want.
Yeah. Tillman?
Yeah. Give me Tillman.
Yeah.
I like that.
Arizona at 66.
So it was Anderson and Torrance, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they could get better anywhere. Oh, you know what? Antonio Johnson's big and he's fast. Sure.
Yeah.
They should take like Garrett Williams, but like, let's be real here. Arizona, what are we gonna do?
Denver, finally.
Who, 2 in a row, both of you?
Yeah. Man, they might be the ones that take like. They could go with like a Blake Freeland maybe, but whoops. I'm gonna go Carl Brooks.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a tackle.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. You got to kind of piggyback off what I picked, so.
Yeah.
Which one is it though?
Both Duncan and Freeland are both athletic, man. I think Duncan will go before Freeland will.
Okay.
I don't feel great about it, but I think that'll happen. So I'll go with Duncan.
The fall ends here for Andrew Voorhees to the Los Angeles Rams. PFF doesn't like him. It seems. They're going to give that an F.
Yeah, probably. Oh boy. The Raiders. I don't remember what they've done so far. I know we picked speed with the last pick. Forbes. Oh. Yeah, that's right.
Heck yeah.
So they have it. I don't know that they would do this, but I like. I'm gonna go Freeland here. I'm sorry, Raiders. I'm doing it there. I know that that's not a pick that you that the owner wants to make probably, but
I am going to take Hendon Hooker.
Oh, yes.
About time. There we go.
Yeah, I feel like third round. I think that's potentially where he starts coming off the board. So
did we go? Derek? Did you go Ojulari for these guys? I think second round. Is that correct?
No, I didn't because him and Langer are super similar.
Touchdown.
Oh, that's right. You took Downs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's Downs and
Paris Johnson.
Shoot. Okay. Let's see here. Oh man. Well, you can never have enough receipt. Jeez. Oh, you know what? What's that running back?
That running back?
What's available here? Yeah, perhaps the big dude and fast dude. I don't think they're gonna if they're trading Henry. Let's operate under the assumption that they kind of cut bait or figure out how to get rid of it. I would lean actually. I think Roschon Johnson, if they're gonna stay like big and fast, He's good. I really like him. Let's do it.
It's been done. No take backsies. Houston, we got Cedric Tillman. We got
Houston's loaded. We're winning a Super Bowl next year.
They got Brzee, Smith, and Young.
Yeah. Okay.
What a draft.
I don't even know if it matters what we do at this point. We might punt. And I don't even mean take a punter, just literally not make a pick.
Center?
Is there one?
I mean, Garrett Williams, and
that's what I started to think about.
And Stingley might be pretty good.
Interesting. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, they could be the ones to kind of take this swing. Like a couple years ago, Garrett Williams seemed like he's like a top 15 pick when he comes out. So yeah, we'll take a swing here. With the draft they're having, nobody's gonna question this. So
it's true.
Yeah.
Man, the Jets. They just brought back Quincy Williams. So do they really still need a linebacker? Tackle situation. You took Freeland, right?
Yeah, Freeland came
off the board. Yeah. Not for them. The Jets have gotten Luke Whippler
and then Darnell Wright. So we've got the offensive line taken care of. Man, truthfully, I have absolutely no clue where to go here.
Is safety like short up for them?
Didn't they trade? What was
they traded for Chuck Clark?
Okay,
they did trade for Clark.
So they're not going safety. Man,
weapon. I mean, Elijah Moore is clearly not happy there. Maybe that changes with Rodgers.
I think it will. But they did cut Berrios, Corey Davis on the last year of his deal as well.
What do we got at receiver? I'm not taking Dale right here. I'm not doing it just out of principle. If you don't weigh more than me, you can't go in this high in the draft.
Still got one of my guys here.
Wow!
Actually, yep.
Ooh! Give me Marvin Mims.
Are they worried? They don't even have to change that. Just give him the same number as Denzel Mims.
Yeah, literally just throwing jump balls out of the slot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh boy, Atlanta here. Like we've gone defense both, I believe. Right? Has it been Carter and Ojulari?
Yes.
Holy cow. Okay. Yeah, we're actually gonna get sacks this year. Okay, cool. Man, if they don't bring back McGarry, we've got a situation on our hands.
They do.
But also, I think we really haven't had safeties come off. Yeah, safety's not great. Could do that though. I love Christopher Smith, but I feel like they're gonna battle a little bit more. I'm gonna do that.
Battle?
Yeah, I'm gonna take battle here. It hurts to pass on Christopher Smith.
All right, the Patriots. I actually, I don't remember what we've done. Joey Porter Jr. for sure.
And I think Cody Mock.
That sounds right. Yep. So anything on the offensive line, he plays all positions, and corner. We haven't taken an edge yet.
Do we take McLennan Curtis out of Chattanooga for the memes? I'm down. Both of them. They got it. They got to be good on the interior with both.
I'm going Nick Herbig here.
Oh, McCourty retired, correct?
Mm-hmm. He did. You're right.
But Herbig can get after guys too.
I am gonna take.
Oh wait, this is Miami. They didn't update it. This is for sure Miami pick. So
this is the pick.
Smitty, you can plaster a Miami logo over that.
I can trade this pick, can't I?
Oh, you can. Yes. Yeah, you just go to the trade. There's like a trade tab right next to draft a player.
Yeah, there is, but I can't pause and offer trade. So what if the trade's not?
You can force it.
Wait, what?
So if you pick, pick Miami, and then you can force it.
My okay, I'm not using my mouse
anymore.
Wait a minute. Really dying or something.
I'm stupid. No, this is correct. What are we doing?
What?
No, this is correct. I'm dumb.
Wait, this was Miami's pick. That
it was.
To,
yeah, don't listen to me. I'm stupid.
Okay, all right.
I'm stupid.
All right, now that I've got that cleared up, who I'm drafting for,
I'm so dumb.
I'm gonna take Jamie Robinson. I'm gonna get a safety in there to replace. I think Taylor Rapp's a free agent. Robinson's a guy real twitchy. He can play in the slot. He can play too high safety. I'm gonna take
What's going on here? We're having some technical issues. Yeah.
There we go.
Who'd you pick? Robinson.
Yep.
Nice. Okay.
All right.
Oh, look at this, Jake.
We'd love to see
again.
This keep working out. Man, like the Packers actually need somebody like Siaki Ika, but athletically speaking, doesn't feel like they're gonna.
Yeah. What was his RAS? 1?
Yeah, it was like 1.6. Even with elite size, that's tough to do. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take Rashee Rice here.
I like it.
Actually, wait. I think he might be under corner. You might have to look under corner, but not Sidney Brown. Jartavius Martin. I think is somebody who can play safety. I think they have him marked under here, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
Yeah. I think this is something the Packers might be looking at as well. I think anybody like if they didn't take Murphy in the first or Van Ness in the first, like Zach Harrison, this is the spot. But
I think Indy's. There's some trade rumors with Gilmore. Get him an athletic freak. The Burners. We're going DJ Turner out of Michigan.
Love it.
Oh boy. All right. What do we have here left at edge?
Nothing.
Zach
Harrison is there. Andre Carter, Derek Hall. Mike Morris stinks. Of course, your Louisville guys.
There he is.
Oh man, this is not a great board.
No. I mean, maybe there's somebody that's listed as.
Look, I went like 2 hours without like incredibly bad like negativity, but this is the point in the draft where the draft just starts to absolutely fall off a cliff. Is once we get to the end of round 3. This is a tough one. All right, give me what's on the board at defensive back, corner, and safety. I might just double down. Okay.
I mean, Clark Phillips is
Clark Phillips. That's what I want.
Yeah, I thought about him for Indy too, but I just think that they're going to fall in love with the athletic profile more than anything.
Yeah,
Turner.
I shall take Tucker Kraft if he is still available.
Okay.
For the Detroit Lions. I believe we've gone Gonzalez, Murphy, Campbell, Tyler Scott. So we're going to take Kraft.
Yeah, that makes sense. Tampa Bay. I don't even remember what they've done. Deontay Banks for sure. What was the other?
Oh, dear.
Dexter.
Tanner McKee, baby.
Who can he beat out Kyle Trask?
I have confidence in that. Yeah.
Could you imagine just Siaki Ika and Vita Vea?
Oh dear.
Just because of like the names, like right next to each other. Like,
oh man.
This
is a mock. You can do what you want, you know.
Yeah.
Present the scenario, and see what people think.
I'm actually doing Christopher Smith for them.
That hurts to see, but he had to go to somebody.
Yeah, he's gonna go somewhere.
All right, we've got Tyree Wilson, Jackson Smith, and Jigba.
Schmitz.
We got a lot of things.
Definitely got Schmitz, and then Brent's. Brent's is the fourth one.
Schmitz and Brent.
Yeah.
Oh boy, man, that's a haul. Rashad Penny's not coming back, right?
Oh my goodness, where's this going?
Gosh. Oh, no way. Oh, it's such a good idea.
We could just go all burner team and have Kenneth Walker and Devon Achane and just ruin lives.
Oh man.
I think they might want a bigger back though.
They might.
They could get a tank.
A literal one. Scroll down a little bit.
They might want a bigger guy, but imagine Deuce Vaughn as the move around weapon.
Screw it. I want Achane. I do. I want Achane. I like the idea. It's just full speed.
Miami at 84.
All right, we took Gibbs, correct?
Are we sure this is their pick? We've kind of messed up,
I think so.
We did take Gibbs.
Okay. I think this I'm gonna give them Stromberg, not Oluwatimi. I'm gonna go a little bit bigger in terms of size.
Keep talking about the pick for a second because I got the new battery in my mouse. So
yeah, absolutely. I'd love to talk about Stromberg here. I mean, powerful guy. I think really intellectually sound. Like he doesn't get the hype that the other guys do, Derek. I don't know. I'm not sure why. Like I think he's a pretty darn solid player.
Yeah. I think we might be looking at Stromberg a little differently. If he didn't have to play all these freakish, like zero tech defensive tackles that he's played in the SEC.
Look at how far down he is on.
The Jordan Davises, the Devontae Wyatts. He had to play with Derek Brown. Like he's got like 3,000 snaps across his career. He's a guy that's been around a long time, and I think he's a really good athlete. Looks like it on tape. So.
The Chargers so far have gotten Henley,
Zay Flowers.
Yeah,
that's it.
Flowers and Henley.
Yeah, I don't even know. Have fun. Oh, actually.
Tell me what you're thinking.
Well, I was gonna say if Khalil Mack's like chopping block need to.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
like potentially look past that. Like Zach Harrison's athletic profile is going to get him drafted at the very least around here. If not, I was probably going to take him with like Minnesota's pick at 87. So
yeah, I like that, but like Baltimore right behind me.
Yeah, we got to find the best player available for
Zach
them.
Harrison.
I think it's who I'm picking. If you don't, I'm just letting you know.
All right. Well.
All right. Who have we taken? We've taken Quentin Johnston.
Yep, that's it.
And who else in round 2?
They don't have a round 2. They get Chicago's.
Okay. So what are we looking like at edge? Because there's a corner that I think may fit. Okay. Negative on this. So corner. Give me Jalen Jones. Corner.
Dang, that's a Baltimore selection.
Oh, what's a Minnesota selection?
Eli Ricks probably.
They need help. They need help on defense. Pretty much everywhere. Oh, look at the needs. Defensive line, linebacker, cornerback.
Yeah.
And they just let Harrison Smith go.
Yeah, we took Addison. And they don't have they like Baltimore do not have a round 2. It's
who's their round?
How they Detroit.
Hawkinson. Yep, Hawk. Yep.
Yeah. So they're sitting as well with just Addison at this point.
Oh,
you know what? No. I'm gonna take Riley Moss. I'm gonna take Riley Moss here.
Okay.
For Minnesota. That's what I'll do.
I have a perfect Giants pick. Perfect Giants.
The Jags. We gave them Ringo, Tittman. That was it, right? They don't have a picker.
Yeah, that should be it, I think.
Ringo and Tittman.
This might be when Derek talks you into maybe a slot option because they stunk there, like he said.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Who's I tell you, Hodges Tomlinson at that height ain't playing anywhere besides the slot.
That's true. That's very true.
That's where I'm going.
Okay. I was going to say the other thing would be maybe if Jawan Taylor, they don't have insurance there, but like.
This is one of my favorite fits, I think, that we've done so far. And I'm going to take Eli Ricks for the Giants. Martindale, loves to play a lot of man coverage. You get Ricks playing at the line of scrimmage with that length. I love that fit for him.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Oh, man. So Dallas has taken Mozzie Smith and not Jalen Hyatt. They got sniped. Who did they take?
Keon White.
Keon White. Holy cow. Okay. We're big. We are big. So, can we take a peek at receiver? Jerry Jones is probably by now. Okay. Well, I mean,
Houston to Dallas ain't.
Yeah, I know. Oh gosh, I think, Dallas would do that. I'm good with giving them takedown. Oh jeez.
Buffalo. All right. Bergeron, we got our project tackle. And Bijan. Let me give them. I don't know how they feel about their corners.
I mean,
they spent a first on one last year.
Yeah. Does interior defensive line have any horses? They might. But
there's a big horse.
Yeah.
That's a non-athletic big horse.
Yeah.
He's a sideline to sideline guy, as long as you're okay with it taking him about a minute and 30 seconds to run sideline to sideline.
Jeez. Ojimo's the one who gets after the quarterback, right? I think so.
I actually don't know much about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Coburn's
Zach Pickens.
Former 5-star.
Byron Young's a pretty solid player as well.
I'm going Zach Pickens. I like the name. That's the tiebreaker.
All right, who in the world did we take for Cincinnati? I know Michael Mayer. Who did we take in round 2?
Michael Mayer and
I think Charbonnet.
Okay, so we did running back. They're gonna lose a linebacker. So what does linebacker look like? Oh,
ain't pretty.
Dorian Williams. That's who I want.
Ooh,
yeah.
You
can't give him. You can't give him Overshown. He's supposed to be like really athletic and he didn't run well.
Yeah. Maybe to only cover Freiermuth. maybe.
Who's your boy? Who's your boy at the line? Pace? You like Pace?
I like Pace on day 3 as like just a guy that rushes the passer from the interior. I think he can do enough, like cover wise. I don't know how he's going to get off blocks at the next level, but he's a fun player, man. He's just so small.
Yeah,
this is your team, Jake.
This is one of 2 players. Love to get some input. It's receiver for sure. Do we go Michael Wilson or do we go A.T. Perry? Wilson gets open. Wilson gets open. If he stays healthy, this is no contest.
When he's not in the trainer's room.
That's the question. I would agree. Right? That's the question. So like Wilson would be your guy that gets open for Stroud. Man,
I'll tell you this.
I was told we took Stroud.
I was told the Steelers really like one of the 2 receivers you just said. And we know how the Steelers are with their receivers.
They're really anti-Louisiana Purchase, right? So,
if you play anywhere in like the Central Time Zone or West Coast, they don't know you exist. So unless you're like Juju Smith-Schuster's mom and like send them film or something like.
Can we go down a couple spots really quick just to make sure I did not miss anyone? Gosh, if this dude was off the field, wasn't a mess, bro. Oh gosh,
Kayshawn
can't do that. Can't do it. I'm gonna take Wilson. I'm gonna hope he's healthy. That's just, I think.
All right, y'all gonna. You know what's fun? I'm gonna have to see the Eagles' previous pick.
So Witherspoon can't see. I don't remember the 3rd pick.
I think I made it too, which
you did.
Yeah. Okay, so I took an edge. So I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Jaden Reed here as a slot receiver.
Goodness. I like Jaden Reed.
Wow.
To replace Zach Pascal.
Oh, I did the Chiefs. What have they done?
I believe
Foskey
and Harrison.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh boy.
So we didn't give him a pass catcher yet.
Nope. Luckily, A-Chain came off because goodness. They would so do this, wouldn't they?
What are you thinking?
Actually, they would do the booty thing, wouldn't they?
Maybe.
And maybe not care. Also, Hutchinson's exactly what they don't have, basically.
That's who I was looking at.
If Juju's not coming back, then they have it, basically. So do we think they are going to keep him?
I think there's a good chance they do. Oh, God. But I don't.
So then maybe the guy you were hovering over. If I would. Yeah.
What?
I was thinking maybe Trey Palmer. If they want the speed that Hardman is probably packing it up.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We can. I will take your opinion, run it to the podium.
Oh man, the receiver.
I could have been talking to a lot of different receivers there. There's a lot of different flavors still on the board.
Like Hutchinson's just like good. Like, hey, nice, move the chains. Oh man. Arizona. Do they want to get in on this action? I think they love doing this. They love getting in on the action. Receiver run. This is so stupid. No, we can't do this. We can't do this. Give them Oluwatimi, I think, at center.
Okay.
We gotta figure this out here. Though I believe that they would take a pass catcher. And they're not above some things.
Washington's went O-line a couple times in this mock, I think. I know we gave them.
You gave them Avila, didn't you?
I gave them Avila. Who did they take in round 1? I think it was a
Broderick, right? I think that stopped the slide.
So we've chilled on offensive line. What do the linebackers look like here?
Not great. I mean, that could have been. We could have started this draft just now, and I would have said the same thing. But
it's probably fair.
I mean, your boy Pace is there. If you're just looking for somebody to.
What do we look at at corner? I think
Noah
corner.
Sewell.
Oh, Sewell's big.
Yeah, corner could be a spot that I think Washington could look at. I've seen a bunch of people mock them corners.
Darius Rush.
Jaquan Bennett.
Ooh, Bennett.
I like Bennett. Slot guy.
Kelly, Senior Bowl.
Scroll down a little bit. Oh, I love me some Keitrell Clark, but that might be a little early for him. Give me Rush. Give me Rush. I'm gonna go with some speed on the outside.
All right, I got Cleveland. What did we picked something for them already? We made one pick. Huh?
Darnell Washington.
Okay. Yeah. So I was about to give them another Washington.
Oh, actually, yeah. I mean, who's young? They legitimately are if you're 22, not in the first 100 picks.
Yeah. What about Byron Young? Is that young enough for them, or does the name not matter?
I can probably tell you how old he is. Was he supposed to
Senior Bowl?
Yeah, he was. That's right.
So he can't be
Senior Bowl. He can't be the guy.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
I hate to do this.
You can't legally drink and get drafted by the Browns.
Yeah, I hate to do this.
I actually don't know.
Do they need safety?
Would they just take?
Do they need safety help? They need safety help?
Yes, they do. They got rid of John Johnson.
JL Skinner's not 22 yet. I will say.
Do they care about the injury? They might.
But it can confirm he is not 22. So
he's a good player. I like it.
That tracks.
He's a good player. We're in the home stretch here.
All right, so San Fran.
3 of the last 4.
San Francisco, no Jimmy Ward. They need a slot. So what slot guys are available?
Who's the guy they just brought back, though? They just re-signed somebody today.
Oh, did they?
Who was it? Let me look.
Gibson.
Oh,
Tashawn Gibson, yeah.
Okay, so there's their deep safety, but they don't really have anybody to play slot right now.
Does size matter to you in the slot? More specifically, weight.
Please don't stop there with that question. Thank you for continuing on.
Yeah, just more specifically weight. Is that a deal breaker?
I don't know if it would be for the Niners.
Because I feel like it's too early for Jay Ward, even though I feel like he gonna play there.
I'm gonna take Bennett. That's how I'm gonna take.
Great. Now I can't take Blue Kelly with one of those last picks for San Fran.
But you get to pick the running back that shouldn't go there.
Oh, that's true.
Well, one of you does. Oh man. I definitely haven't picked for this team. What the heck have we done? We got Kincaid, we got Hyatt. Is that
Ricks?
Kincaid, Hyatt, Ricks. Is that it? That might be it. Kincaid, Hyatt, Ricks. I think that's it. That's it. Kincaid, Hyatt, Ricks. I know there's no darn centers available because I took them all. You know what? It might be that time. To get Ivan Pace off the board.
Okay.
Is it early? Maybe. Yeah. Potentially. But I feel like Dable would like this.
All right, let's look at the running backs here.
No, we can't be too on the nose.
Yeah, you gotta scroll way.
Izzy Abanikanda, there he is.
But that's actually really good, though.
Yeah, I do.
That's
like
actually so good. Oh, that's so smart.
Raheem Mostert,
Yeah.
Junior. Guess what? That's it.
Mo Ivory.
Just take Izzy.
Yeah.
All right,
That's so
screw it.
smart. Oh, it's so good.
I want Moro Jomo.
That's good.
I think that's a perfect place for him to land. 3-4 in. You know how they develop pass rushers too. He'll be a beast.
I just love that his entire name is like 9 letters. Like that's my favorite
and like
part about
mostly
this.
vowels. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
All right,
it.
we're not gonna go through and do this pick by pick, but we did say throughout there were some moments where you were like, "Oh, this is my favorite player team fit." What are some of those as we went through this?
Oh man, I love JSN to Seattle. That's so good. It's so good. It's a little off brand of Seattle though, be just absolutely on the nose, but maybe that's the new norm for them. I love Kincaid to the Giants too.
I think that's what I was just saying. Is like I feel like a lot of mine are the pass catchers. I love Zay Flowers for the Chargers. JSN Seattle, such an easy one. I actually really like Deontay Banks right above that for Tampa a lot too. Just scroll down a little bit more, but yeah, Derek, if there's any that jump off the page to you.
Yeah, personally, I love Ojulari to the Falcons. I know that was one that I think that I made. I love that one. Getting some edge help along with Jalen Carter, Grady Jarrett, that turns like a weakness into a strength for next year for them. Some other fits that I
Brent's
like.
in Seattle.
Oh,
that's
I
prototypical.
like Campbell in Detroit a lot.
Yeah, I do too.
That just feels like that is Campbell and Hutchinson being on the same defense is like
Tillman.
That's fun.
Tillman to the Texans. That's gonna be good too. Tillman's a guy. He's wide receiver 5 for me, I think, on my board right now. Like I think he's a better prospect than Hyatt too. So he's a guy that I really like. He should not go there. If you look at the 2021 tape on Tillman, but like he wasn't healthy last year and he was still putting up numbers, but like the 2021 tape, he looks like a starting X receiver in the league. And I think that he can get there. He just needed to be healthy, which he wasn't until January. So
yeah, I'm a fan.
Yeah, it gives them the one like archetype they do not have.
Yeah,
in the room right now.
I'll be honest, for as much as I Derek disliked Trenton Simpson at 32, if the Steelers got Clark Phillips at 80 and double dipped in the corner room, I'm cool with that.
I mean, here's the deal with Phillips too, right? Like he's always been small, and he's always been a really good player. I mean, this is a guy that's been playing for Utah. I mean, he played as a true freshman. Like the size has never been a problem for him. And that's the thing. Like this class has so many outliers. So yeah, you got to be really careful about like which outlier you're betting on. And yeah, Phillips didn't test as well as I think he needed to really go before mid to late day 3. I think he may even slide to day 3, to be honest with you, with this testing. But he's a guy that like I think we could be looking at 4 years from now when this really talented cornerback class, there's several of them flame out, and then Phillips is up for like a second contract as a really top 5, top 7 type slot corner in the league, and we're like, how did we let this happen? Like the instincts, the ball skills, the twitch, like it was all there on tape, and we just overlooked it because he's small, So
went toe to toe with Addison.
In the AFC North as well. I feel like the AFC North is the division he should be in.
Yeah.
Went toe to toe with the first round pick in this mock. So I mean,
yeah. And he was really the only guy from Utah that showed up in that Rose Bowl against Ohio State in 2021. I mean, he was the only dude who looked like he wanted to be there. I wouldn't say that he was dominant in that game, but he had an interception. He competed against JSN and the other talented wideouts that were kind of filling in for Olave and Wilson at that point. But I don't know. I think Phillips, if I understand that you probably can't take a top 50 pick on him anymore because of the testing and all that stuff, but middle rounds, there's not that many players that have better tape than him in this class,
Yeah, I agree. I'm a fan. Guys, we are at almost 3 hours of this. So I want to wrap it up here. Can't thank you guys enough for joining me. I was really excited about doing this project and had a lot of fun going through this. I think it was also a good mix, by the way, like first round doing it all collectively and then just individually making pitch for rounds 2 and 3. I thought that was a good way of doing it. And that was the plan the entire time. Absolutely. Do not let us have a conversation and then Jake saying that idea and me rolling with it deter you from that fact. That's 100% the plan the entire time. But yeah, thanks again for joining. If you guys want to tell people where they can find you, anything that you might have coming up in the near future, Jake, we'll start with you.
Yeah, obviously I do YouTube as well.
I'll put the link to that in the description.
Oh, sounds good. Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, but this is like the season. I think Derrick's gonna say the same thing. This is like a Super Bowl almost, like all this season for us. So like, yeah, I doing video stuff, doing audio stuff on a podcast, on the Packernet Podcast Network, doing the draft centered part of that, writing for NFLmocks.com, and then contributing to the Cheesehead TV draft guide for the Packers at wide receiver.
Love it.
Yeah. So, like Jake said, draft season, man, it doesn't really stop for us, but definitely I feel like us three definitely provide good content on that regard. I'm still doing my thing writing wise for all Steelers, a Fan Nation, and then I'm actually launching a YouTube channel this week.
I was about to say that, but I was like, I don't even know if he told anybody. I don't want to be the
I haven't. So if you've made it through 3 hours of this mock draft, you get the news exclusive. Yeah, I'm starting my YouTube channel, which will be Steelers_DB. Probably this week, my first video is going to be on Deonte Banks. So just another spoiler alert.
What a way to kick it off.
A lot of corner stuff, a lot of Steelers stuff. I'll be pumping out hopefully a decent amount of content. I'm excited to dip my toes into the YouTube world, try to follow after the leaders itself, Zach Smith, Jake Schyvinck, trying to get like the goats.
YouTube is an awesome and terrible place. It is what it is. It's what you make of it. But yeah, the comments can go a ton of different directions.
Comments are wild.
Yeah. But yeah, two of the best in the draft community here. Can't thank you guys enough for joining me. The way I'm going to break this up, by the way, because again, 3+ hours, I'm going to have it so you guys are going to be able to, like, it will say where round 1 stops, where round 2 stops, and all that stuff. So you guys can stop, pause it, come back whenever, and you can just jump right back into the action if you're watching this in segments, because I don't know too many people that are probably going to sit through an entire 3-round mock draft in one sit. Why did my mic just cut out? You guys hear me?
Your mic cut out.
Yeah.
Hold on. This is a terrible. What is happening?
You're good now, though.
You're good. Yeah.
This is a great way to end the video.
Heck yeah.
If you guys
made it this far, they're incredible.
Anything here, but I see you like looking at me, acting as if you can't hear me.
No, you're good. You can hear it now. Oh, and you went back.
No, I did it again. Is it like hopping out? I don't know.